Clap your hands, do your dance, stomp your feet, praise Him while you're here. Clap your hands, do your dance, celebrate, praise Yahweh's name. This is not a sad song, not a mad song either. I know it's been hard on you lately. Just take a breather. Tell God thank you. He gave you everything you have. Rest as life. We should be there. We should be there. Grace is this life, what a gift. He's been lifting our heads, trying to wake us up to the truth, through the trials, through the storms, through the tears. Every heartbeat's a reason, every moment a test in its season. Rise up, be grateful, give God your best. Do your dance, stomp your feet, praise Him while you're here. Clap your hands, do your dance, celebrate, praise Yahweh's name.
It's Hero on the beat.
Break my chains, Lord, help me see again. It's me, your humble servant, on his knees again. It's time for me to eat again. I'm at the door, I know you don't let demons in. Abba, wash my soul, make me clean again, so we can meet again. Cause I remember dark days and broken nights. I was living wrong and couldn't get it right, but I was always in your sight. And now I'm a thriller like I resemble Mike. Anyone, Tyson, Jordan, Jackson, know what I mean? You looking at lyrical Elohim, the flyest Jew that you ever seen. With a dream, dream shaking demons like 94 Hakeem, with fringes on the bottom of Celine. All because I dropped the triple beam, and now my life I'm living super clean. Dancing like David, got a new routine. You're looking at the new regime. Now the chains broken, it's a newer scene. Time to take the kingdom from the Philistines and in betweens. Yeah. Oh wait. Chef.
Priests, yeah. All praise to Yahweh. Life has been great to me. They say it's all love. It seems more like hate to me. Fresh 16, I write these verses faithfully. First cousin flow, I'm hoping they relate to me. I got game, I got a too cool flow. I make it pop like balloons on that YouTube show. I got God on my side. Ask me what time I'm on, lying in my heart. rhino with an iron horn. Another man's word could never make him nervous. Breaking every chain and these generation curses that plague us and our offspring. That's what a priest will do. Not afraid of war, but I'd rather be at peace with you. If Trap is on the track, it's gonna be lit for you. Call Roy up, and then he'll write a hit for you. Current state of rap, it's sad to say it's pitiful. The end is almost here, it's gonna get critical.
Abanawa, Shabashamayim, Kwadash, Hayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakwatha, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'aratazar, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Latonlanawa, Lacham, Kal, Yawam, Wasalachnawa, Chaubwathnawa, Kasalachnawa, Chaubwathyanawa, Wala'a, Tabia Anawa, Manasaya 1, Abal, Hawashayanawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wa'ala, Wa'atapa Arath, La'ai Walamyam, Aman. Ya Baraka, Ya Baraka, Yahweh, Yahweh, Wa Yashamaka, Wa Yashamaka, Yahweh, Yahweh, Ya Yahweh, Ya Yahweh, Panyawa Al Yak, Panyawa Al Yak, Wa Yachanka, Wa Yachanka, Yahweh, Yahweh, Yasha'a Yahweh, Yasha'a Yahweh, Panyawa Al Yak, Panyawa Al Yak, Wa Yasham, Wa Yasham, Laka Shalom, Laka Shalom, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah, Yahweh Shah, Barak Rapah, Barak Rapah, Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah, Yahweh Shah, Barak Rapah, Barak Rapah, Yasha Allah, Yasha Allah.
Shalom, shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom, brothers and sisters. Welcome to another Saturday morning class from the Lines of Israel. It's your brother, Priest Daniela, representing Lines of Israel, Maccabees TV, and I am joined, of course, by the Elder Zahab. First and foremost, as always, we give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, the supreme intellect of the universe, and we do so in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. I want to say peace and safety and blessings to everybody. I appreciate you brothers and sisters coming through every Saturday morning and supporting us and listening to what we're teaching. And I pray that the lessons definitely do edify you. I want to shout at everybody that's watching us on Maccabees TV, the Lines of Israel class on our YouTube platforms. Guys, make sure if you're new here that you subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. If you are a regular, make sure you guys drop a comment in the comment section and let your brothers and sisters know you're here so that can trigger the algorithm. And of course, shout out to my family on Clubhouse as usual. The link to today's lesson is at the top of the room so you guys can come over. I would say on a scale of 1 to 10 for today's class in terms of whether you should be listening or watching. I think on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to say 10,000 that if you are able to watch and you're on Clubhouse, you should click the link and come over to YouTube, because we're going to be playing a lot of videos today. And then for the second half of today's class, I have something a little bit different that I don't normally do, but I'm going to do at the request of my good brother, Roy the Chef. I'm going to kind of touch on something briefly, not in total, but I'm going to touch on something briefly that took place last week in terms of it just being something that can edify people. And the brother did have some questions about it, so I told him I would touch on it in today's class. That's going to happen at the conclusion of today's class that I already have scheduled. So again, if you guys are on Clubhouse, you want to see what I'm going to show. It's actually funny. You want to see what I'm going to show. We're going to get there eventually, but we got to get through, the first class first. We got to take care of business first. So with that being said, without further ado, I'm going to pass the floor over to Elder Zahab if he wants to say something to open up. The floor is yours, bro.
Hey, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High. Ashar Shabbat. Right? I want to give honor and glory to the Most High. In the name of Mashiach Yahushai, we made it for another Sabbath. So just want to say shalom. The water to the Father for giving us life, right? And yeah, I'm here, man. It's been a tumultuous week to say the least, but all praise to the Most High, we made it. So I'm here, priest.
Yeah. I will give you guys a word of advice, a word of counsel to everybody that's listening. If anybody's ever considering moving to northeastern Pennsylvania, the Poconos, because the prices for the cost of living is cheap, think twice, y'all. It's snowing up here, man. I'm so sick of snow. I'm so sick of it. And all the other trials and tribulations that I've been going through the week. And then to top it off, the cherry on top is snowing outside. I got to go shovel. Yeah, so don't come here, y'all.
But here's the caveat to that, though, right? If you are a resourceful man, right? If you are a quote unquote a man's man, so to speak, you don't mind putting in work, elbow grease, whatever the case may be, you could get around it. But if you're a creature comfort type of man, right? I'm not gonna say feminine, dainty, house kept. You live in apartments, and you know what I mean. It might not work for you because you got to battle the elements, and if you're not used to that, then you might as well stay where you at. But if you want to do that and you say, yeah, I'm willing to do it, right? Then by all means, man, because the housing market is going crazy. So if you could get in where you fit in, by all praise, but just know everything comes with consequences, right?
Yeah, absolutely, brothers and sisters, absolutely. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump into today's class. I'm just going to get rid of a couple of things so that way you guys are able to see everything that's on the screen. We're going to get rid of the banner, right? We're going to hide that. So we're also going to hide the logo just so you guys can see everything that we're sharing on the screen. Without further ado, let's share the screen and let's get started. All right. So today's lesson is called "It's an Evil World That We Live In," part number 1. What inspired this lesson is I just have been going down a rabbit hole of information, considering the current climate that we're in. For those of you that are in tune with news, we know that over the last couple of days, Orange 45, that's what I call him, Orange 45, aka Orange 47, aka Donald Trump, posted a picture and he depicted the Obamas basically as primates, as monkeys, whatever, in the image. Now, as we know as Israelites, we're no fan of the Obamas. Like, we're not fans of theirs because as far as we're concerned in this knowledge, like they're all the same, whether it's a black face or a so-called white face, whoever sits in that seat in that office is the same, and they hate our people equally. And that's really history repeating itself because, as we know, the Roman Empire fell in 192 AD to Semites. Septimius Severus was a Semite. And when we sat in the seats of the previous Roman emperors, we did the same things that they did, including oppressing the followers of Christ in the kingdom. So it's the same. It doesn't matter if in New York City, whether if you're from New York, whether Eric Adams, the black man, was mayor, or Mom Donnie, whatever the hell he is mayor, it's all the same. Whoever sits in that seat oppresses our people. We're the targets. That's the idea. So what Trump posted was really, it was a dog whistle, as they call it, right? To his followers, who are a bunch of rabid racists who hate our people, right? And they use a lot of talking points to try to justify their hatred. No longer is the racist white man wearing the damn dunce cap, because that's what it is. It's the damn dunce cap that they call the Klan, the Klan hood. That's nothing but a damn dunce cap. They don't really wear that anymore. No longer are the racists amongst the so-called white men shaving their head and calling themselves skinheads and neo-Nazis. No, it's your friendly neighborhood, everyday politician, policeman, mayor, governor, because that's how it's always been. If you go back, you even look in the 60s, a lot of the racists, you know what I'm saying, were white men that were in positions of power, governors, mayors, et cetera, et cetera. It's always been that way. And that's the way it's going now. Esau is really showing his horns and showing you exactly who he is. But what they're doing is they're using our people as the scapegoat to justify their racism. So as you guys are looking at today's lesson and the image that I created for today's lesson, the thumbnail, you guys can clearly see, we see who's in control, who's pulling the strings, and we see whose face is facing the people. The face that's facing the people is our face. So what happens a lot of time is that we see our face facing the people, and we blame ourselves for things that there are other people behind the scenes that's pulling the strings. Is there a measure of blame for our people for doing the things that they do? Of course. We believe in holding our people accountable for their actions. That's exactly what we do. But what we don't do is we don't let the white man off the hook. That's the difference between us and an Officer Tatum. That's the difference between us and a Jason Whitlock. That's the difference between us and an Anton Daniels or any of these other coons. We hold our people accountable for their behavior. We don't give our people excuses for their behavior. But we also hold the white man responsible that you are the puppet master behind the whole thing. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Because we live in an evil world that we pray to God every day that he comes and destroys. Right? So let's get started with today's lesson. Again, for you guys on Clubhouse, I would definitely suggest that you guys come over to YouTube and watch the presentation, because later on, an hour or two from now, I got some really interesting things that I want you guys to see that I think is actually funny. And also, I'm going to be playing a lot of videos. All right. So with that being said, let's start here. What is, and I Googled it, called the typology of the Bible, the typology of the KJV, which is our go-to translation. So what typology is in the King James Bible, it refers to the method of biblical interpretation where Old Testament people, events, institutions, or types foreshadow New Testament realities, antitypes, specifically centering on Christ. So sometimes there are certain things in the Old Testament, and it gives you certain examples, like you have the when Moses held up the staff with the serpent, that was a typology of Christ. You go back to John 3:16, which the Christians like to use. You jump up 2 verses, you see the typology about Moses holding up the staff, right? And whosoever looked upon the staff was healed. Likewise, God so loved the world, whosoever believes on Christ should not perish but have everlasting life. That's a typology. Everybody understands? That's a typology. Adam is used as a figure of Christ. Joseph's suffering and resurrection. Moses, being a prophet and a mediator, is used as a figure of Christ. Melchizedek and his priesthood is used as a figure of Christ. David and certain things with him is used as a figure of Christ. It's a type of typology. That's the way the Bible works. The Bible employs what are called literary devices. We have to come out of the mentality of reading the Bible like a Christian, where we're reading it and our minds are just mush. And we must look at the book the way that it was written and understand the intent that the authors had and what message they were trying to convey. And they used literary devices to convey these messages. Now, I went through all of that rigmarole to say what? Let's go to the next slide. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 18, chapter 11, verses 8 through 10, right? Let's pick it up from verse number 8. It says, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city. What great city? Babylon the Great, which spiritually is called Sodom. And I think we all understand why, so I'm not going to really go down that rabbit hole right now, which is spiritually called Sodom because Babylon the Great, aka America, has the same characteristics as Sodom. Every type of inclination, that's a good word, right? Every type of inclination that you may have in terms of fornication, illicit, illegal, unlawful sex, you can do in Babylon the Great. You could also do that in Sodom as well. So America has the spirit of Sodom. And Egypt, when you look at Egypt, Egypt had, I believe, I'm winging it, 42 gnomes, right? And in each gnome, there was a different god that was being worshipped. In other words, you could worship whatever god you wanted to worship in Egypt. The same thing is true of America. Also, Egypt is a place of captivity for our people, and America is a place of captivity for our people, right? So it says, and their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. Now, I know a lot of brothers and a lot of camps teach where it says our Lord was crucified. They go into the whole thing about the image of Jesus Christ being painted as a white man when he's really black, and that is true, but it goes deeper than that. When it says where our Lord was also crucified, remember, Christ was crucified. He was killed, right? Well, let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 27. It says, now ye are the body of Christ and members in particular. So the Israelites, the typology is we are the body of Christ. So Jesus Christ, Yahushua, was not killed or crucified in modern day Babylon the Great. That wouldn't make no sense. So this is a type of typology. It's not really talking about Christ. It's talking about the body of Christ, meaning the people of Christ. It is their dead bodies that lie in the great city, which is spiritually Sodom and Egypt, which is America. It is our dead bodies, both literally, meaning that we're being killed, whether it be through us killing each other, whether it be through diseases, whatever Esau is doing, whatever he could think of and conjure up in his evil mind, we're being killed literally, but we're also dead spiritually as well. This is verse number 9. And they of the people and kindreds and tongues of the nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. Why? Because we are not physically dead in this great city, but in many aspects we are spiritually dead in this great city. This is Proverbs 21, verse 16. It says, the man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. So our people are like the Walking Dead. Our people are like Game of Thrones and the White Walkers. Our people are what they call animated corpses, dead bodies that's walking around and talking and interacting with each other just like people that are alive are, except they're dead. That's our people. We're spiritually, mentally dead because we have wandered out of the way of understanding. We have lost our connection with the Most High because we sinned against our God. That's the idea. So all of this is metaphoric, and it's using a type of typology. This is talking about our people. Verse 10, and they that dwell upon the earth, meaning these other nations, shall rejoice over them. The other nations are happy to see us in the condition that we're in. Because as long as we remain in this condition that we're in, as long as we remain out of the way of understanding, is the longer they can rule. It's the longer that they can oppress us. It's the longer that we will be in subjugation unto them. So they're happy about it. So happy, in fact, that they set things up. They set systems up, devices up to have us perpetually continue to stay in the way of not understanding the Most High. That's what they did. Verse 10 again, and they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry and send gifts to one another, because these two prophets, Judah and Israel, tormented them that dwell upon the face of the earth. This is Lamentations 2, 14 through 16. It says, thy prophets have seen vain and foolish things for thee. They have not discovered thine iniquity. Our prophets, our leaders, to bring it up to modern times, have not discovered the reason why the Most High turned his back on us. They haven't discovered that yet. And there are some people that have discovered it, but they don't teach it to the people because they're on the payroll. The middle of verse 14, to turn away thy captivity. In other words, if and when our prophets discover our iniquity, that's what's going to turn away our captivity. That's what Solomon said, right? If my people who are called by my name would humble themselves and pray and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear them and heal their land. That's the whole idea. But have seen for thee false burdens and cases of banishment. So the reasons why we are in captivity, as far as those that's in power amongst our people that are given to us to be our leaders, they tell us false reasons as to why we are perpetually in the condition that we're in. We are in worse condition today as so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans than the black people that came fresh out of slavery were. Fresh out of slavery for a certain pocket of time, some of the slaves went back and they did sharecropping, right? But as time went on, you had a lot in the South. You had a lot of black people that were elected to be governors and mayors, and they were ruling. And there were black cities set up, right? Black Wall Street, right? You had Rosewood, Florida. You had Seneca Village in New York, so forth and so on. You had all these different places, right? You had certain places in Philadelphia that we were thriving out of slavery. Financially, we were thriving. We were the #1 married couples in America of all the different nations. The whole gender war that we see today wasn't like that. We were the most married. And that was passed down from generation to generation to generation. And then Esau came in and blew it all up and gave us puppets for leaders who will not tell us the truth as to why we are in the condition that we're in, that we broke God's laws, and that's why we perpetually stay where we are. Verse 15, all that passed by clapped their hands at thee. Same thing that we saw in Revelations 11 and 10. They hiss, they wag their head at the daughter of Jerusalem, saying, is this the city of men? Is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth? All thy enemies have opened their mouth against thee. And we're going to see that today. What we're going to be looking at today, we're going to look at exactly what Esau set up in our community to destroy us. And then the same person that set these things up turns around and talks bad about us, about what he created. All thy enemies have opened their mouth against thee. They hiss and gnash the teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up. Certainly, this is the day that we looked for. We have found, we have seen it. They were looking for the day when the Most High banished his own people so that they can have the advantage over us. And that's an ancient prophecy with Jeremiah speaking about Israel falling to the Babylonians and America's modern day Babylon. So literally, that was a typology of what we'll be facing today. We're dealing with the same thing today, all over again. It's literally history repeating itself. Let's go to the book of Psalms 94. We're going to read verses 20 and 21. It says, shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by law? That's a mouthful. You have the throne of iniquity, and this throne of iniquity is framing mischief by law. Thrones represents rulership or government. So you have governments that set laws in place that are mischievous. Verse 21, they gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous. These people have these councils. They have these think tanks, and they sit down and they think about ways that they can destroy us. From sometimes 50 to 100 years out, they have plans in place to perpetually keep us in the position that we are in. They gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous and condemn the soul and condemn the innocent blood. Let's go to the next one. What does it mean by framing mischief by law? Let's look at this, right? This is systemic impact level, right? So certain things that are in place in America is mischief framed or backed by law, such as things like civil asset forfeiture. We're not even going to get into that, right? That's a whole rabbit hole we're not going to go down. Let's look at the next one. Qualified immunity. How many of you brothers and sisters know what qualified immunity is? To make a long story short, so that we're not pressed for time, you'll have a police officer that will shoot an unarmed black person, and they're given, in some instances, 48 hours or maybe 72 hours where they don't have to say anything. They don't have to say anything. And in that 48 to 72 hours, you have investigators, so forth and so on the police department trying to manufacture a story so that the officer, no matter what they did, no matter how egregious, they look as the victim in the story. Does everybody understand? That's qualified immunity. And in some cases, they don't have to testify at all. Next one, lobbying and political action community influence. Lobbying and political action community influence. So you have these political action committees that will come in and they will pay off members of Congress to, in some cases, like the small hats, promote certain laws that protect and give certain groups certain special privileges, while at the same time buying off our politicians to also vote in their favor and sometimes vote for things that are against our best interests. We could talk about reparations if we want to, right? You have laws and presidential, what do they call them? Executive orders for the small hats. You have executive orders for the Asians, but none for you so-called Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, especially foundational Black Americans. That's mischief framed by law. You have mandatory minimums, meaning that for certain crimes, there are certain sentencing guidelines that are in place that disproportionately affect us. You have corporate loopholes. We won't even go into that. You have unfair community enforcement, meaning you have more police surveillance, more police patrolling in our communities. You also pass laws where you can stop a Black person by reason of suspicion, meaning you look suspicious because you're wearing a hat. You look suspicious because it's negative 20 degrees outside and you're wearing a hood. So the more people you stop is the greater likelihood that you have more arrests. Whereas opposed in other communities, you don't police the same way, so there's less arrests. So it looks like we're more criminals than they are when it's not true. This is mischief framed by law. And then you have the disparity in sentencing. And I'm going somewhere with this, so I want y'all to lock in. If you half asleep, go get some coffee. I'm going somewhere with this. You have disparities in sentencing. Similar crimes, but the sentencing guidelines are more harsh for us. That's mischief framed by law. This is Psalms chapter 10. Let's pick it up from verse number 1. It says, "Why standest thou afar off, O Lord? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble? The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor." So the wicked is this system, the throne of iniquity, and they persecute the poor. The Bible says, "Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined." I'm going to give you guys a spoiler alert. When we go to the next slide, we're going to see that the things that they set up for us, a lot of their own people have fallen victim to it, especially their children. When you look at stuff like fentanyl, even going back like heroin and cocaine, those traps were set for us, but white kids have fell victim to it too. All praise to the Most High. The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. David said, let them be taken in the devices, like the drug game, that they have imagined. You imagine that for our destruction. You tell the world that we're the biggest drug dealers. Let that fall on you. Let those devices fall on you. That has happened. Verse 3. For the wicked boasteth in his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth. The wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after God. God is not in all his thoughts. His ways are also grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. Verse 6. He hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. And that's the way Esau thinks. That America is just going to go on forever, and all the wickedness that America does specifically to the children of Israel, they're not going to be punished for it. Verse 7. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. He sitteth in the lurking places of the village. In the secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. Everything in the system has been set up to destroy specifically our people. I'm not saying that some of the other nations that are here don't sometimes get caught up in these things, but these things were specifically set in place in this country to destroy our people, specifically, even more specifically, the tribe of Judah, foundational Black Americans. The entire system was set up to destroy them because Judah is the tribe, they're the head tribe, they're the tribe that Christ comes from, so they want to destroy that. They feel as though by destroying that, you destroy everything else. Verse 9, he lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. What is that talking about? That's talking about the whole entire, for example, the whole entire drug game, right? The white man, as we're going to see, I'm giving you guys a spoiler alert, set the drug game up. But our people have become the face of the drug game. We have been scapegoated and said that we're the problem, but the white man is the one that set the whole thing up. White folks cry about rap music. Rap music is destroying the Black community. So the rappers are the ones taking the blame, as they should. However, what we're going to find out is the white man is playing a major role. When I say a major role, I'm talking about all the way down to the microcosm of actually writing these songs or telling the artist what to write about. I want you to write about crack. And you got to write about that or else your record is not coming out. We excuse the white man and blame only us. No. No. Through our music, they are drawing our people into this net, this trap. We're going to get to it. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. Verse 10. He croucheth and humbleth himself, that the poor may fall by his strong ones. He hath said in his heart, God hath forgotten. He hideth his face, he will never see. Arise, O Lord, O God, lift up thy hand, forget not the humble. So this is a prayer that David was praying for the Most High not to forget that this is what the wicked have done. Let's move on. Let's go to the book of Judith, chapter 5. Let's pick it up from verse number 1, right? It says, then it was declared to Holofernes, the chief captain of the army of Assur, that the children of Israel had prepared for war and had shut up the passages of the hill country and had forfeited all the tops of the high hills and laid impediments in the champaign countries. Verse 2, wherewith he was very angry and called the princes of Moab and the captains of Ammon and the governors of the seacoast. And he said unto them, tell me now, ye sons of Canaan, who this people is that dwelleth in the hill country, and what are the cities that they inhabit, and what is the multitude of their army, and wherein is their power and strength. So that's the key part that we want to focus on. Where is their power and strength? Where does it come from? For the other nations, their power and strength comes in horses and chariots. It says that in the book of Psalms. Some trust in horses and chariots. Do the Israelites also draw their strength from horses and chariots? That's what Holofernes wanted to know. It says, and wherein is their power and strength, and what king is set over them, or captain of their army? Verse 4. And why have they determined not to come and meet me, more than all the inhabitants of the west? Then said Achior, the captain of the sons of Ammon, let my lord now hear a word from the mouth of thy servant, and I will declare unto thee the truth concerning this people, which dwelleth near thee, and inhabiteth the hill countries, and there shall no lie come out of the mouth of thy servant. This people are descendant of the Chaldeans, and they sojourned hereto in Mesopotamia, because they would not follow the gods of their fathers, which were in the land of Chaldea. Let's go to the next slide. Verse 8. For they left the way of their ancestors and worshiped the God of heaven. So this is going back to the beginning, which is Abraham. We left the way of the ancestors and we worship the God of heaven. We worship the true God, starting with Abraham, the God whom they knew. So they cast them out from the face of their gods, and they fled into Mesopotamia and sojourned there many days. Then their God commanded them to depart from that place where they sojourned and to go into the land of Canaan, where they dwelt and were increased with gold and silver and with very much cattle. But when a famine covered all the land of Canaan, they went down into Egypt and sojourned there, while they were nourished and became there a great multitude, so that one could not number their nation. Verse 11. Therefore the king of Egypt rose up against them and dealt subtly with them, and brought them low with laboring in brick, and made them slaves. Verse 12. Then they cried unto their God, and he smote all the land of Egypt with incurable plagues, so the Egyptians cast them out of their sight. And God dried the Red Sea before them, and brought them to Mount Sinai and Kadesh Barn, and cast forth all that dwelt in the wilderness. So they dwelt in the land of the Amorites, and destroyed by their strength all them of Esabon, and passing over Jordan, they possessed all the hill country. And they cast forth before them the Canaanite, the Pharisite, the Jebusite, the Sychemite, the Girgasites, and they dwelt in that country many days. Now, we're going to get to the portion of the class now where we're going to play a lot of videos. The first thing I want you guys to understand with Esau is that what we just read, or the other nations, I should say, what we just read is the nations study us. So when Holofernes wanted to know about the Israelites, Achior came forth and gave him the whole rundown. These other nations study us. We don't study them, but they study you. And they use what they know about you against you. Now we're going to play this video from Rizza Islam. Now, Rizza Islam is the type of person, I'm speaking personally. I watch him with a side eye because while the brother is very intelligent, he says a lot of great things. That's why I'm using his video. I cannot forget, this guy started off as a Scientologist. He was into Scientology because his parents are Scientologists. And then he just popped up in the Nation of Islam. You know, none of these people that be platformed and put out there in front of us, a lot of them are, you know, compromised to a degree. I'm not saying he is or he isn't, but knowing that you were a Scientologist before and you pretty much came out of nowhere, I watch you with a side eye. But in this particular video, he's saying something very true. The other nations, and we just read it in the scriptures, the other nations, they study us. Let's go ahead and put the volume all the way up and let's listen to the video. Let's go.
So I know white people study black people, but we don't really study white people. And I can say I've really been a student of white people since Dr. Amos Wilson introduced me to this idea. In my observation, I think white people know more about black people than black people know about themselves.
The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad says, study the white man, for he is successful, and he makes no excuses for his failures. He works together in a collective manner with his people. Paraphrase slightly there. The immature person will get mad at that. The wise person will listen to that and follow those deep instructions piece by piece, point by point. Study. Study. What does that mean? It means to look, it means to listen, it means to ask questions about. It means to read books about. It means to look at the history about a thing, look at it economically, look at it spiritually, look at it mentally, look at it agriculturally. Let me study you. How did you do that? That's what they did to us.
That's what Holofernes did. That's what he asked those other men about. He wanted to speak to those men because they studied us, and he wanted to know, what is the source of their power and their strength? What is it? We know ours is horses and chariots, but what is theirs? The other nations, they study us, and they give us things that they know will destroy us. They expose us to things that they know we're susceptible to. And we don't study them, so we don't see it coming. As a collective, as individuals in small pockets of people, we do, but our people as a collective don't study their enemies, man, which is sad. Let's go to the next slide. One of the things that they studied, and the study shows, is our people have a love for 1 Timothy 6, 9 through 11. But they that will be rich fall into many temptations. In this society, the higher up you go, the more public exposure you have. In many, many, many cases, it's not organic. You were put in that position because they understand that you can be controlled. You can be manipulated, or you can't be controlled. You can't be manipulated, but you got some weaknesses or some flaws. So we're going to give you things that you're weak to, and then use it against you later to bribe you. Hold on a second. I want to see something that may not come up. I'm going to ask Google real quick. FBI, what is a honey trap? What is that? This is for you brothers. I want you to listen, especially you brothers and leaders. I want you to listen. Listen, listen, listen. A honey trap or a honeypot is a often state-sponsored espionage tactic using romantic or sexual relationships to compromise a target for intelligence gathering, blackmail, or to induce scandal. Agents, sometimes referred to as swallows or ravens, establish fake intimacy to coerce, expose, or manipulate targets into sharing secrets or performing favors. Translation: the sister, I'm talking to you men now. The sisters are not so much susceptible to that, but most men are slaves to their lust. Even brothers that claim to be repented, even brothers that are in the truth, even brothers that are teachers, as we have seen. And it makes sense because men operate off a different hormone than women. You operate off of testosterone, which means that your sexual, what's the word I want to use? Desires are magnified 10,000 to a woman. And women don't understand it because they don't understand biology. Men operate off a different hormone than you do. So this goes into even scientific. They know this. That's why you see great men from the time of David and Solomon to today falling to women. It's really on a deep level, goes into science. They know this. So the FBI has a whole operation called a honey trap or a honey pot. And that's why you see men over and over and over falling to the same thing, their lusts, because they understand that. Everybody understand? And many of our leaders fell to that. Recently on Martin Luther King's so-called holiday, there were a lot of white people on TikTok making videos talking about Martin Luther King and what has come out because of the files that were released. And we saw in the files that were released that Martin Luther King, he was getting his freak on a lot of times, right? You know, we had this as children, we had this sanitized idea of who he was, but he was still a man at the end of the day. So this is one of the ways that they get you, right? Now let's go back to the PowerPoint. Let's go back to the PowerPoint. So 1 Timothy 6, verse 9 again, but they that will be rich fall into temptations and snares. What is one of the temptations or snares we just read about? The honey trap. A lot of these people that are in positions and they get this money that really have a heart for their people really and don't want to sell out, you still got that lust problem. So they can't get you to sell out because you're not really an Uncle Tom. So they give you a bunch of women. And you, with your stupid self, you sitting there not understanding that you never pulled that caliber of woman before you had money. Them type of women that you pulling wasn't checking for you before you had money. All of a sudden now you got women checking for you that you've never had in your life, and you're dumb behind don't figure out, man, they might not be here for the right reasons. You give into that lust. You're in compromising positions, doing compromising things. They're videotaping, audio recording, everything else, man. And then they bring that thing to you and say, you work for us. You know what I'm talking about? But they that will be rich fall into temptations and a snare, and into many foolish, because it is foolish, and hurtful lusts. Right, that's it. Which drown men in destruction and perdition. For the love of money. So once the man gets caught in this trap now, he has a heart for his people, but he can't speak up for his people. He can't advocate for his people, because if he does, he's going to be exposed, right? Because the woman that was with him was really working for them. And sometimes these operations, if you guys don't know, sometimes these operations go on for years. You could be sleeping with a honeypot for years. One such example that we talk about, we don't have tangible evidence, but it's kind of obvious. One example that we talk about in contemporary history is the brother Dr. Khalid Muhammad. Khalid Muhammad, many of us believe his wife was a honey trap, because before he met her, she was working for the so-called Jews. And there's a long story behind that, but it seems like they sent her to him. And she was with that man for years. And they even had a child together. I don't know if a lot of y'all know who Dr. Farrah Gray is. If you don't know who he is, he's very prominent on TikTok and Instagram. Dr. Farrah Gray. Farrah Gray changed his name. Farrah Gray is Farrakhan Muhammad. That's his real name. That's Khalid Muhammad's son. Khalid Muhammad named his son after Louis Farrakhan. His father was a freedom fighter. This guy is an Uncle Tom, taking pictures with Bill and Hillary Clinton. Your father was a freedom fighter, having a million youth march and all that, right? He sort of, I ain't gonna go down that rabbit hole, but your father dies, and now you're a coon taking pictures with Bill Clinton for status and money. And your mother married with a Christian pastor. Sometimes that operation goes on for years. She'll even have your children. You think that woman loves you, and she's a damn honeypot. I'm just saying. Verse 10. For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith. And you have brothers that get a little money, and you don't even recognize them. They spirit, their actions, nothing. And pierce themselves through with many sorrows. Verse 11. But thou, O man of God, that's me and you and everybody else. This is an admonition. Flee these things and follow after righteousness, godliness, faith, love, patience, and meekness. Let's move on. We got to stop inviting these people to the cookout. We got to stop. By inviting these people to the proverbial cookout has played a major role in where our community is today. This is an image of Dr. Dre and Jerry Heller, some of the forefathers of what today is known as gangster rap music. And their benefactor, Jerry Heller. This is him right here. We invited Jerry to the cookout. Let's watch this video real quick. Let me turn the volume all the way up.
When we go back and start talking about the many things that have attacked our communities, we like to talk about the crack epidemic and how enemies planted the drug in the Black communities, weakening them.
And we're going to talk about that next. We're going to talk about rap music first. We're going to talk about that next. Let's keep going.
But one thing we don't speak about is one of the biggest weapons that our enemy placed in our community. The weapon I'm talking about is hip-hop culture. The culture of hip-hop is something...
I'm going to go back a little bit, so I don't want nobody to be confused. He didn't say hip-hop was the weapon. He said the culture, and that goes into a lot of things, as we're going to see. Let's go back just a little bit. Listen.
Is one of the biggest weapons that our enemy placed in our community. The weapon I'm talking about is hip-hop culture. The culture of hip-hop is something that the majority of my generation grabbed onto. They use hip-hop as a weapon against our population, and the effects were stronger than crack cocaine, and the effects have never gone away. From our music, to our movies, to our fashion, the hip-hop culture attacked our way of life and crippled us. Our enemy went into the black community, found our villain.
I want y'all to see, who's the enemy? Who's the enemy?
Our enemy went into the black community, found our villains, and made them our heroes.
Did y'all catch that? They found our villains, meaning the drug dealer, the pimp, the gang member. Those were our villains. Our heroes were our freedom fighters. The enemy came into our community and turned things upside down and made our villains our heroes. That's what the Bible says. Surely the turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. Most High is the potter. He's going to turn things right side up. But this is diabolical. They turned our villains of our community, but that which was frowned upon, into the heroes. On the female side, they turned the hoes and the strippers into the virtuous women. And the women that are actually virtuous and not hoes and strippers are looked down upon. Through hip-hop culture in modern times, that's what they did.
Culture attacked our way of life and crippled us. Our enemy went into the black community, found our villains, and made them our heroes. The crack dealer who made millions by destroying their own communities was now looked at as the only way to make it out. What our enemy did was place the negative on our face and made it desirable. They went into our communities, found young, talented men, and gave them millions of dollars, put them on TV, on our magazines, on billboards, and shifted the goals of my generation from desiring to have strong families like the Huxtables to having juice.
You got the juice now, man.
Who's the enemy that did this? One of the main people in this story is a man named Jerry Heller.
When we go,
this is the beginning of the decline. So you have the image here where prior to NWA and the whole gangster era, you had a lot of positive rap music as well. You had your Public Enemies and the whole 5%er movement. Even though if I don't agree with the doctrine, it was just teaching black people positivity, self-love, so forth and so on, loving yourself, recognizing who your enemies are. Relationships were pushed between men and women. There was love there. But the beginning of the decline was somebody like Jerry Heller. Who is Jerry Heller? Gerald Elliott Heller was an American music manager and businessman. He was best known for his management of West Coast rap and gangster rap pioneers, NWA and Eazy-E. It is through this portal that gangster rap music usurped the era of the Public Enemies, right? The Eric B. and Rakims, the Big Daddy Kanes, the KRS-Ones, all the dudes that was pushing the positive stuff, Boogie Down Productions, like all the positive music that was out there, this usurped that. We were fed a narrative that music didn't sell anymore, which was a lie. How do you know that narrative was a lie? Because when Ice Cube broke off from NWA, eventually this gangster rap pioneer group, when he broke off, Ice Cube returned to doing positive music again. And he was selling 1 million albums every single time he put an album out. So it's a lie that the people didn't want the positive music. What you had was you had a group of people that was coming in and infiltrating our community and hurting us in a direction that we would destroy ourselves. Let's jump down to early life and education. It says, born to a family that wears small hats in Cleveland, Ohio. That's who this guy is. Because shout out to my foundational Black Americans, y'all invited him to the cookout. And so here we are today. Let's move on. Let's look at Psalm 64. Psalm 64, picking up from verse 1, it says, "Hear my voice, O God, in my prayer, preserve my life from fear of the enemy." For you guys on Clubhouse, come over. Like I said, I'm playing a lot of videos. I want you guys to see the videos if you can. Psalm 64, 1 again, it says, "Hear my voice, O God, in my prayer, and preserve my life from fear of the enemy." Verse 2, "Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked." So the wicked, they have these counsels. They sit down together, and this is not a conspiracy theory. I'm going to have an insider tell you they sit down and have meetings about how they're going to destroy us. "Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil matter." What's the evil matter here? We're going to destroy these people through music, because everybody loves music. We'll use the music to destroy them. The very music that they created, we're going to usurp authority and control over it, and we're going to destroy them with their own creation, and that's exactly what they're doing. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. Why? Because it is through the music and the desire of our people to emulate and be like these stars in the music videos, these artists. We're going to mimic their behavior, which is a snare, because when we mimic their behavior, there is a pipeline straight to prison for that, right? Verse 5, "They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see us? They search out iniquities." That's the same thing Holofernes did. Who are these people? What is the source of their power? If their power is God, then we're going to give them everything to consume that's against what God would want or require. Everything. The music that they listen to will be against what God will require. It will destroy them. We're going to destroy them with their own creation. And the destruction is going to sound good. It's almost like Jim Jones, right? In the Jonesboro Massacre, when Jim Jones had all the people drink that daggone Kool-Aid that has cyanide in it, and they all died. That's modern day hip hop. And R&B. Let's add that in there too, because R&B is going to be talked about today as well. And R&B. And dancehall too. I don't have no slides for dancehall, but and dancehall too. Pushing these negative messages to our people that destroy us. And it's sweet because it sounds good. Some of the most negative records, let's be real. Let's talk real and be honest. Some of the most negative, detrimental records to us sound the best. Let's be real. It's sweet poison. You got people in the truth singing R. Kelly's records, man, about adultery. You know what I'm talking about? What are we talking about, right? Even us are susceptible to that because it sounds good. They know we love music. They know that we're a spiritual and soulful people. So let's destroy them with what they love. Verse 6, they search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. But God shall shoot at them with an arrow, and suddenly shall they be wounded. Verse 8, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves, and all that see them shall flee away. So there's a thing in the occult or the hidden, right, where they are told that they have to publicly tell people what they're going to do. And they do. And the instrument that they tell you exactly what they're going to do, their nefarious plans, is Hollywood. That's what they use. Right? They use Hollywood to tell you exactly what they're going to do or what they are doing to you. And they wrap it in entertainment, so you just think it's entertainment. But literally, this is what they're doing. So this is a movie called Under the Silver Lake. I'm going to start at 1 minute and 10 seconds. And let's see what the movie is trying to tell us. What is the esoteric or the hidden message in this movie? Let's start at 1:10. 1 minute and 10 seconds. Back a little bit. Here we go. Let's go. So this scene of this movie is called The Piano Man. Right? I'm going to give you guys a spoiler alert so I don't have to keep starting it and stopping it. I'm going to go back just a little bit. This scene is called The Piano Man. These guitars are guitars that were owned by different rock and roll so-called legends. Everybody from Jimi Hendrix all the way to Kurt Cobain. And what The Piano Man is going to be telling this guy is that all these guys and the songs they were singing, the images they were portraying was controlled. And it was put out there on purpose to destroy the population. But in a way that's entertaining. The songs and jingles are catchy. The people love it. And they take it into their spirit. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole idea. You're going to be destroyed and not even realize you're being destroyed as you're being destroyed. You're going to be manipulated and not even realize you're being manipulated as you're being manipulated because it sounds good. Got it? Okay. So this is at 1 minute and 10 seconds of this clip. Let's go. Let me turn the volume up a little bit so you guys can hear it. All right, let's go.
That Kurt Cobain's Fender Mustang guitar?
Oh, I don't know. Probably. I don't remember. I have so many things.
Can I pick it up?
I don't always worry what the message is. I just pass it along. I slip it between the notes, hide it away from people that know it's there.
Did y'all catch that? I slip it between the notes so people don't know it's there. That's exactly what they do with the music industry. We're going to go back a little bit. I'll let it play this time. I promise I'll let it play this time. I want you guys to understand what's happening here. It's not a conspiracy theory. They're telling you what they do.
That Kurt Cobain's Fender Mustang guitar?
Oh, I don't know. Probably. I don't remember. I have so many things.
Can I pick it up?
I don't always worry what the message is. I just pass it along. I slip it between the notes, hide it away from people that know it's there.
You're saying you've done this before? Codes?
I wrote the music your dad grew up to. Half of what you sang along to as a kid, and I'm still doing it. These teenagers are dancing to my music.
The teenagers are dancing to this demonic stuff that they hide in the music because it sounds good. That's what they're telling you. Listen.
I want it that way.
You're telling me there's hidden messages in old pop songs?
Movies, television shows, everything you know.
Why?
That's pop culture, isn't it? Floats away like tissue paper. Yeah, I blow my nose. I find a used Kleenex, I recycle it, and there is your wedding song. Here it comes. I want to know what love is. And I want you to show me.
You guys get the idea. I ain't got to show y'all no more. They tell you in their popular persuasions, which is their media and stuff, they tell you this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing to you when you were a child, and this is what we're doing to your children. Okay, let's move on. I think y'all get the message. Okay. Let's go back to the book of Judith and let's continue. Judith chapter 5, picking up from verse 17 where we left off. And whilst they sinned not before their God, they prospered, because the God that hateth iniquity was with them. So that answers AQR's question earlier. What was the source of our strength? God was the source of our strength. Or better yet, our obedience to God was the source of our strength. Verse 18. But when they departed from the way which he appointed them, which is the commandments, they were destroyed in many battles, very sore, and were led captives into a land that was not theirs. And the temple of their God was cast to the ground, and the cities were taken by their enemies. But now are they returned to their God, and are come up from the places where they were scattered, and have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and are seated in the hill country, for it was desolate. Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error against this people, and they sin against their God, let us consider that this shall be their ruin, and let us go up, and we shall overcome them. This goes back to verse 1, 2, etc., where Achior wanted to know what the source of our strength was. The source of our strength was God and our obedience to God. And when we're not obeying God, now we are weak and we are easily able to be overcome. This is the other nations studying us. That's what Rizal Islam was talking about. They study you. They study me. And so to keep us in error against our God, you're going to give us stuff, starting with the music, to keep us in error against God. And it's going to be packaged in such a way that's almost irresistible. Verse 21, but if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest the Lord defend them, and their God be for them, and we become a reproach before the world. So they understand if we're actually following God's commandments, there's nothing we can do or they can do with us. So this is a video from years ago we're going to examine, and I put it in pieces, so hopefully I don't get a copyright strike from YouTube. I didn't play it straight through. I put it in pieces so we could discuss each piece. This is Ice Cube, who was a part of NWA, the pioneer gangster rap group that was the beginning of the downfall of our community. But we know the history that Ice Cube would eventually leave NWA, get with the Nation of Islam, become a student of Dr. Khalid Muhammad, right? And start teaching positive stuff, because he understood that he was a pawn being used. So he's having an interview with Bill Maher. Let's go ahead and let's listen to the interview. Let me turn the volume all the way up, because this is an insider telling us exactly what the Bible already told us. Listen.
Who benefits and profits off our bickering and our division? You know, it's like follow the money. I don't know their names, but if you follow the money.
Now, I have a problem with that. I ain't going to stop it too much. I'm going to stop it sometimes to comment, but I'm not going to stop it too much. But I had to stop there because I got very upset when he said that. You do know the names. You can't say it because you're going to end up, you're going to end up 6 feet under. You can't say. You can say this much, but you can't put a headshot on it because you're going to be not in this world anymore. That's what it is. See, we could put a headshot on it because we don't have the audience or the pull he does. So we're going to put, or I'm going to put headshots on it. We already did with Jerry Heller. He knows exactly who the names are, but I'm going to give him a pass because at least he's saying something. Some of these dudes is too scared to say anything.
Who benefits and profits off our bickering and our division? You know, it's like follow the money. I don't know their names, but if you follow the money, you go high enough, you start to see, okay, you know, this is an industry. Okay, let's take rap music. Let's take it. Same people who own the labels own the prisons. So literally the same people who own the labels own private prisons.
And that's the devices they set up against us. You give us this music and it creates a pipeline of people that go from listening to the music, emulating the idols, and end up in prison because of it. This is a plot and a plan of the wicked against our people. That's what the scriptures is talking about.
So, you know, it seems really kind of suspicious, if you want to say that word, that, you know, the records that come out are really geared to push people towards that prison industry.
Including the records he put out early with NWA. But eventually he had an awakening. Also, for those that really, really know rap music, another member of NWA, MC Ren, had the same awakening as well. Dr. Dre and Eazy-E did not, but Ice Cube and MC Ren did.
But they didn't make you write those lyrics. It's not about making somebody write the lyrics. It's about being there as guardrails to make sure certain songs make it through and certain songs don't. Certain flavors are exposed on the record.
It's about the guardrail, making sure that certain songs make it through. What songs? The ones that destroy our community. Those songs make it through. And the ones that don't destroy our community, those are the songs that don't make it through. I need for everybody to understand that. This is calculated. And then they turn around and blame us, but there's a whole machine outside of us that's controlling this. There's money behind this. That's why earlier in the video, he said, follow the money. Let's go to the next one. Okay. Well, first, let's look at this word, social engineering, because he's going to mention that in the next video. Social engineering, what's the definition? Management of human beings in accordance with their place and function in society, applied social science. So it's managing us. The money is managing us or controlling what is actually making it to us over the airwaves, what's being promoted, what's being pushed in our community for an expected or desired result, which is our destruction. Understand that? Okay. Let's go to the next one. This is Psalms 83, verses 3 through 6. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. What he's about to talk about is a crafty counsel, and consulted against thy hidden ones. What consultation are they doing? They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more remembered, or no more remembrance. Verse 5, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom. So the Edomites are the ones that are spearheading this whole thing. Let's turn the volume all the way up and let's listen to part 2 of this interview. Let's go.
You know, some records are made by committee. Meaning...
Stop. Did y'all catch that? If you think, I just want to say this so that as you're watching this, everything is making sense. You're listening to the radio. You hear some degenerate stuff on the radio. You're thinking, how could Sexy Red be having lip glosses that are called booty hole and this, that, and the third, whatever? How could she be saying the things she's saying, or even a male rapper, whatever? How could they be on the radio talking about lean, talking about getting high? How? What would make somebody want to write those records and disseminate that in their community? As Ice Cube is going to explain to you, these artists are not writing these things on their own, of their own creative license. No. It's one of two things happening. Either there's a committee of people writing the records. The person that's the face gets the credit. Like, you're the one destroying our community. No, there are people behind the scenes that are telling them, write this. Or There are people behind the scenes writing that crap and giving it to them saying, say this. And some of those folks is not our people. Let's go back and let's listen again. A lot of the records you hate are not actually the creations of the artists themselves whatsoever. It is the machine and the money behind them, either writing it for them or telling them to say that.
You know, some records are made by committee, meaning record company guys sit around and tell the artists.
Who's the record company guys that sit around and tell the artists stuff? It's the small hats. It's them. Let's put a headshot on it. It's the small. He didn't do it. I'm going to do it. Let's put a headshot on it. It's the small hats. They sit around in these meetings, the record company executives, and say right about destroying your own community. And you got dumb niggas that all they care about is money. The love of money is the root of all evil. They will do it for the money. I'm sorry, I'm ranting, but I got to rant because this stuff makes you mad.
You know, some records are made by committee, meaning record company guys sit around and tell the artists, this is hot, say that, do this. We're going to have this guy write the lyrics. We're going to have that. So the narrative is really kind of, you know, structured and really made into what the record company want the record to be, and what a lot of artists are frustrated with this kind of music making. You know, a lot of people, feel like they're being controlled by the label.
They are being controlled by the label, but the money is so good. The love of money. They are being controlled by the label, but the money is so good they allow themselves to be controlled. Let's be real.
This is how they do it. Telling you what songs to sing, what hooks to do, what songs, you can do your song. That's fine. That's an album cut. But the single is what we all say is the single.
So you guys understand you have album cuts and you have singles. So if you want to say something that's not so out there, that'll be on an album cut. That's not going to, album cuts don't get promoted the same way a single does. A single gets promoted because there's money behind that. That's the song that is going to be pumped on the radio and played 10 times a day on the radio in rotation. That's the song that's going to get the $1 million music video behind it. The money's going to be behind that. So whatever that single is the message that the executives want to be pushed. And 9 times out of 10, it's not a message that's positive for you. But the artists go along because of the love of money.
So you have, the record company pushing the narrative, so this to me is somewhat, some social engineering going on here to make sure those prisons stay full. Now,
social engineering to make sure the prisons stay full. Somebody's already lost. What is social engineering? Management of human beings in accordance with their place. Our place is to be in prison, to keep the prisons filled with us. So one of the places that they use, one of the devices that they use in order to do this is our music, right? Let's continue. Psalms 58, verses 3-5. It says, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent, and they are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear. This is manipulation that we're about to hear. Let's turn the volume all the way up so we can hear the manipulation. Listen.
There's a lot of dots to connect to make that happen. But I'm just giving you a broad example of how people at the top can manipulate what's going on with the people who are bickering and fighting. I just gave you a music example, but there's examples of
Can I cross-examine this theory?
Of course you can cross-examine, of course.
This is Bill Maher about to be the devil that the Bible speaks about. So I'm just going to prepare y'all. He's going to bring up a song that Ice Cube was a part of with NWA called Fuck the Police. I'm sorry, I should have said that word. And I know there are children listening. I'm sorry. And there may be portions of the lesson that are not suitable for children. So if there are children listening, y'all might want to send them to another room or something. My apologies. But what Bill Maher is about to do is he's about to hold Ice Cube accountable, which he is accountable to a degree, for a song that he made when he was younger, a song that, or a mindset he no longer had as he got older. His mindset changed, but the devil got to be the devil for sure. Can't stop a devil from being a devil. Let's go.
Grace, can I cross-examine this theory?
Of course you can cross-examine, of course. Of course.
And I appreciate that.
Hold on a second, y'all. Let me go backwards because on my end, I was a little frozen. So let's play this again.
There's a lot of dots to connect to make that happen. But I'm just giving you a broad example of how people at the top can manipulate what's going on with the people who are bickering and fighting. I just gave you a music example, but there's examples of
Can I cross-examine this
Of
theory?
course you can cross-examine, of course.
No,
Of course.
and I
Of course.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay. So if your theory is that the prison industrial complex, and I agree, that's an abomination. Start off with there. Prison should, I've done editorials on this on my show. Prison is one of those things that should not be in private hands.
Yes.
Along with healthcare, a few other things that are like, the good part of socialism. They should not be run by people for profit. I agree with you.
Yes.
I did not know about this connection to the music industry, that it's the exact same people. If by that you mean that the people who run the record companies may have stock in prisons, private prisons, that's possible because they all have. I mean, do they actually like Monday, Tuesday go to work as a record company executive, and Wednesday through Friday go to work at the prisons? No. Okay, so if
of course they're not actually running the labels.
They have financial interest in it.
They have financial interest.
Okay, so if they have financial interest in the prisons, and your theory, if I'm following correctly, is that the kind of stuff in rap lyrics works as a funnel to get people inspired to do the kind of things that would get them in prison, right? Like, for example, writing a lyric, "Fuck the police."
Yeah, I mean, writing a lyric, "Fuck the police,"
might get somebody arrested and sent to prison.
That might get somebody arrested and sent to prison.
So that's the devil being the devil, y'all, because Ice Cube, along with Dr. Dre and MC Ren, they had a song called F the Police with NWA during the gangster rap era. They did, right? Although even that record itself was not really saying F the police in the way that Bill Maher is trying to frame it. It was more or less the police were basically messing around with the community, oppressing the community. That's why that song was written. But nevertheless, even that, he didn't write songs like that later on. But you just have to throw that in there. You see what I'm saying? That's the devil being the devil. In other words, saying that you're responsible. If the white man's responsible for overseeing this whole rap music to prison pipeline, you have to take some blame too, because you wrote a song called F the Police, which wasn't even about that. But that's the devil being the devil. I just want you guys to see that. Let's move on. Right? As I told y'all, R&B is not exempt either. Let's turn the volume up. Listen.
That's just one example of one record that the record company did not manipulate. You know, that's pure artistry.
Right.
But I've seen labels. I've
did they
work with artists.
Did they manipulate you?
No. I'm an independent artist. Always have been. I started off on independent labels.
So how were you able to avoid this trap that so many others fell in? What did you?
So I know some of y'all are young, so y'all don't understand this. Ice Cube, after he left NWA, which Jerry Heller's label, Ruthless Records was an independent label. It was, but it was run by Small Hat. Ice Cube signed to a record label called Priority Records, which was also an independent label. When you are on an independent label, the executives don't really have as much creative control over you as if you are on a major label. They don't. He signed to an independent label because he bet on himself, understanding that his name would allow people to buy his records. Most people don't bet on themselves. They sign to the major label because the major label, the machine, is going to push them. Their name alone is not going to push them. But he bet on himself, believing that his name alone would push him, which it did. So because he bet on himself, he he was on an independent label, the executives were not able to sit in meetings and tell him what to write, which is why a lot of his music after he left NWA was positive, and it was informative, and it was teaching black people that they were great, so forth and so on. Anyway, let's continue.
You do right. I wouldn't let an A&R asshole in my studio. Like, you're not fucking coming in here telling me how to make a record. Right.
Again, there's sometimes some words in here that are inappropriate. So if there's children, I apologize. Y'all might want to get them out of here.
Asshole in my studio. Like, you're not fucking coming in here telling me how to make a record. Right.
Let's come back. Let's go back. I apologize, y'all. Let's play this right.
That's just one example, one record that the record company did not manipulate. You know, that's pure artistry. Right. But I've seen labels. I've did they work with artists? Did they manipulate you? No. I'm an independent artist. Always have been. I started off on independent labels.
So how were you able to avoid this trap that so many others fell in? What did you do right?
I wouldn't let an A&R asshole in my studio. Like, you're not fucking coming in here telling me how to make a record. Right. I'm come from the heart. I'm gonna do what I feel. So I never allowed an A&R to. I never had anybody A&R me, but Dr. Dre. You know. So that's pretty. I just wasn't ever going for it, and they just kind of like let me alone do my thing. And I was on an independent label like Priority. I wasn't on a major. And majors, they do it with singers, they do it with rappers. They have a lot to say in what's the finished product.
Majors have a lot to say with rappers and singers, because some of us lament, why is R&B not like what it was? On the radio, we don't hear R&B like we used to, and the R&B we do hear is not like what we grew up with. There's no more love there. Now, even in the R&B, it's a gender war because the executives are telling them what to write. That's why. That's why, literally. That's exactly why. Let's go to the next one. All right. I want you guys to listen. This is J. Edgar Hoover. J. Edgar Hoover. He was the director of the FBI during the time all the way from the time of Marcus Garvey and the UNIA, all the way up until Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, the civil rights movement. For those that don't know, J. Edgar Hoover was a cross-dresser. He was a cross-dresser. That's what he was. Let's keep it real. And that's out there. Y'all can look it up. The reason why that's important is because we know that Martin Luther King Day just passed. I saw a lot of white people online talking about what was exposed about Martin Luther King by the FBI in these unsealed files. And as I've told more than one white person at my job, let's just say that everything in the FBI files about Martin Luther King is true. That's wonderful. But the vehicle or the messenger that is bringing us everything that Martin Luther King did wrong, because there's a movement amongst white people that Martin Luther King does not deserve a holiday anymore, because now they have found that he was not who we thought he was, because these files have come out and Martin was doing a lot of things that are considered to be amoral or immoral. Cool, no problem. But my response is that, yeah, but the person that was surveilling him, J. Edgar Hoover, was a cross-dresser. And his name is on the FBI headquarters today. The FBI headquarters is named after J. Edgar Hoover, who's a cross-dresser. So if we take Martin's holiday, we got to rename the FBI headquarters too. Like we can't, yeah, pick your poison. Anyway, let's turn the volume up.
The Black Panthers are recruiting criminals and hoodlums and encouraging them to engage in a broad range of terrorist activities. They are the greatest threat to the internal security of this country. We want to make it clear to black youth that if they want to be revolutionaries, they will be dead revolutionaries.
Now, I don't want you guys to think that this is old, because this is current, meaning that today, those of us that identify ourselves as Israelites and others that speak to being quote unquote revolutionaries of our people, we're called black identity extremists by the FBI. So the sentiment is the same. Anybody that speaks to being a revolutionary of our people, that teaches our people of their greatness, so forth and so on, they want to kill you. While at the same time, they want to promote those of our people that promote destructive messages to our people. They want that. They don't want the us Israelites. They don't want that. What's the next thing? Let's go.
Isn't always the case anywhere in show business, but okay, let's just talk music, where the people who are the most talented and are making money, therefore, for the label, of course you get to, of course you get to make your own rules, because it's always about, if you're making money for me, you can get away with anything. Roseanne once sang the national anthem in front of some stadium before, like, the Super Bowl or some big game, World Series or something, and like butchered it almost on purpose. It was like, you can imagine what America made of fucking with the precious anthem. They went apeshit. But her show was #1 on ABC, so they kept her. Later on, she did something bad and they got rid of her. Times had changed. But my point is, like, when you're making people money, they're going to leave you alone. It's the people who can't afford to tell them to fuck off.
I don't know about that.
Really?
I think the more money you make, the more money that you're making for a label, more than likely, the more money you're costing to.
Hey, thanks for.
So let's get right to it. The reason why Roseanne, so-called Roseanne, the she devil right here, kept her show after she said something, is because she's a small hat. That's why. That's why she kept her show. That's what Ice Cube didn't want to say, so I'm going to say.
Was ambient tweeting. That's what Roseanne Barr said today, claiming the sleep aid drug is the reason she compared former Obama advisor Valerie Jarrett to the offspring of apes. Her defenders on social media insist it was just a joke, but as CBS 2's Jim Williams reports, such descriptions have long been used to dehumanize African Americans.
It's not a new thing, but it is disheartening that in 2018, we're still talking about, people are still using that as the punch, right?
As Chicago State professor and department chair Kelly Norman Ellis points out, racists have called African Americans apes from when the first slaves arrived on these shores more than 400 years ago, and through and beyond Barack Obama's presidency.
This is little Hussein.
He and the former First Lady were depicted as monkeys. In other words, inferior to whites.
To compare Black people to apes goes straight to that, the heart of dehumanizing someone. And that's why Black people respond so strongly.
Why African Americans and many others of all races have condemned Roseanne Barr for this tweet. The Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes had a baby, VJ. Former White House advisor Valerie Jarrett responded Tuesday night.
I'm fine. I'm worried about all the people out there who don't have a circle of friends and followers who come right to their defense.
Jarrett calls it a teaching moment. Kelly Norman Ellis teaches her students the painful historical context.
Now, when they hear somebody like Roseanne make this comparison, they know where it comes from. They know it's not a joke.
Well, you don't have to look far on social media to see people.
And that goes to why they want to get rid of critical race theory, so that these small hats and even the regular Edomites could just talk about you like dogs. Roseanne is a small hat. All right, let's keep going. Another face behind our device, Liar Cohen. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroys the heart. You pay our people to destroy our people, right? You know what? I'm going to skip this because this video is kind of long. I'm going to skip it. And let's look at this video. I've showed you guys this before. Our oppressors oppress us, and they justify it, right? You guys have seen this video before of Liar Cohen, another face like Jerry Heller, a small hat, on The Breakfast Club. But if you haven't seen it, check it out.
If an artist is talented, right, but you don't agree with their personal views, does that matter, or is it all about talent?
No, it's all about talent. I respect their personal views, but I can never be silent. I tell people when they ask me exactly how I feel. Like, you can't be a rapper and have a cup in front of you. I tell you, that's liquid heroin. You're junkie. You're junkie.
Would it concern you enough to not work with someone? Say they were in the middle of negotiating with you.
Yes,
that
go
makes you
ahead.
say, okay, I don't know that I can do this deal.
What?
If you felt like they had a drug problem.
No.
Why sign an artist that would promote that?
I already answered that question. You weren't paying attention. She asked me talent or issues, and I said talent.
I'm saying that's hypocritical, though. You're saying
It's opportunistic.
Yeah.
I got people to feed.
It's opportunistic. So I'll sign a crackhead. I'll sign somebody that's strung off a lean. I'll sign them. It's opportunistic, yeah, but I got a family to feed. So I will platform one of you that's a crackhead. You know what I'm saying? Because I got people to feed. Let's go to the next slide. Not even gonna. You guys have seen that before. That's
if an artist.
Listen, guys. This is also not a new video, but some of you guys may never have seen this. This is Charlemagne on Vlad TV saying the small hats run everything. They're the ones that's behind everything. We're the faces that get blamed for destroying our community, but they're the ones that actually are funding destroying our community. What are we talking about?
We run the business, black people. We don't have no power. No matter what we do, we can all click up. We don't have no organization that has holds any weight. And nobody's if you don't hold no weight. We don't have no organization that holds no weight. You can't speak bad about a Jewish person because they have organizations and they're a close-knit group of people in power who will bring you down. Same thing with gays. You can't say nothing bad about gays because they move as a unit. Black people don't have that.
I mean, if you do a racist comment about black people, there are repercussions.
When?
You don't just walk away from that.
Who? Give me an example.
I mean, Kramer.
That's because he was white. And nothing really bad happened to him. You know why nothing bad happened to him?
I never really heard from him again.
I think because he got so rich that he was just cool.
Like Jews don't go out and try to recruit people into the religion like, certain Christians and Muslims.
I'll be honest with you, I don't even feel comfortable talking about this. I'm sweating right now.
He's scared to talk about it.
I don't.
What does that tell you?
There's certain things I don't like to talk about, and I love Jewish people. But they're powerful. I don't want them to misconstrue anything I'm saying or take anything I'm saying the wrong way. So I would much rather not even have this conversation. I have a lot of great.
These are your leaders. These are your leaders.
I have a Jewish
scared.
conglomerate. Yeah, absolutely. You know why there's not a lot of Jewish rappers? Because there's Jewish owners.
They own everything. They're pushing the message. That's the point.
They run these labels. They're the bosses. That's why I'm uncomfortable.
What did Kanye say? He said, "Happy Kwanzaa to all the artists and
happy Hanukkah to all the labels."
That's all you need to know from an insider. They're running the labels, so all the stuff you see in front of you is them funneling it out on purpose. Why? Because of payola. If you don't know what payola is, it means everybody's for sale. Let's play this video real quick. What is payola? Why is it important?
50s radio stations, DJs had little to no creative control over what they played on the air. Instead, it was common practice to broadcast songs released by the record companies that paid them the most, rather than the music listeners might tune into.
So the record companies, going back to the 50s, this is where it started. The record companies would pay DJs to play certain records, not because it's what the people wanted to hear, but it's because they wanted to push a certain message. Y'all ever wonder why y'all hear records on the radio? The first time you hear it, you're like, I don't like it. But a month or two later, 3 months later, you love the record. It's because they hypnotized you into doing it through payola. They pay the DJ to play it over and over and over and over again. You kept hearing it over and over and over again. It grew on you, not because you really liked it, because you kept hearing it, and now you like the record. That's payola. That's done on purpose. I ain't gonna play the whole video. That I think that makes sense. Let's move on.
50s.
How many of you guys know about a guy by the name of Pimp C? I always talk about him, right? He's one of the realest ever in the industry. Pimp C died in December 4th, 2007. Pimp C died December 4th, 2007. He was a member of a rap group called UGK. His biggest hit ever was a song with Jay-Z called Big Pimpin', right? Pimp C was one of the realest ever, right? So we're on Wikipedia. We saw that. He died December 4th, 2007. Let's jump forward to the part that talks about his death. It says, in December 2007, Butler was staying at the Mondrian Hotel in West Hollywood, California, where he was working on new music and performing with Too Short. On the morning of December 4th, 2007, he was scheduled to fly back home. After not hearing from him, his wife, Chinara, called the hotel and requested that they check on him. Hotel staff discovered Butler's unresponsive in his hotel room, and paramedics pronounced him dead shortly after. He was 33 years old. Let's jump down. According to DJ Paul of the 3-6 Mafia, Butler's manager, Rick Martin, described seeing the rapper's body laying down like he was praying, but there was blood around him like he was shot. They told us he died off of lean. As we're going to read, no, they killed this nigga. Now, I'm going to show you why. It says Rick Martin described the rapper's body laying down like he was praying, but there was blood around him like he was shot. He further stated he knelt down like he was praying, and the candles were all the way burnt down. So they knew he'd probably been dead for a day or so, because he always lit those candles to sleep. He lit those big tall candles and had been burnt down, so he probably had been dead for a while. Let's go back 1 second. Let's go back right here. Pimp C was found dead in his hotel room on December 4th, 2007, with a coroner's report attributing his death to complications from heavy consumption of lean. Hey, if you're taking lean and you die, no, you're not going to be found in a whole bunch of blood like you were shot. No. We're not stupid. No. Now, y'all might be asking yourselves, well, why? Why? Oh, let me introduce y'all to Pimp C. For those of y'all that don't know nothing about him, this was before 2007. Pimp C was different. He was different. Just listen.
People, I won't even say a group. It's the only reason two men can really call themselves friends or partners or homies. Can't start lies, can't build on lies, and you know what I'm saying? When it's all over, you know what I'm saying? Can't be no lies a part of it. Everything between me and him, regardless of how we may deal with everybody else, I'm 100 with him. He's 100 with me. That's the only way we gonna make it. And from the beginning, it's always been we. Ain't never been.
Pimp C right. This Pimp C right here. Listen.
Say this too. These niggas out there think this shit is cool, but it ain't cool. Me and this man ain't never been butt naked in no room together with no hoes, pulling no orgy type shit or doing none of that whole ass shit you niggas out there be doing, thinking you doing some fly shit.
That's what Puffy was caught for, y'all. This dude was speaking out against this before 2007. We talking about Puffy just getting caught. What, last year? He was speaking out against this before 2007, and he went crazy on a whole Atlanta interview against that gay stuff. That's why they got him up out of here. But let's keep listening. Let's keep listening.
Nigga, if you're in a room naked with some other niggas and some broad, them niggas looking at your ass. And if that shit is gay, and you need to get on some other shit, me and this man got enough of respect for each other. We ain't never pulling no train. We ain't no motherfucking freaks. We some family men. We getting this paper. You know what I'm talking about? And I had to put that out there, because a lot of niggas doing a lot of fugazi and shit out here, man. You know what I'm saying? These niggas that flip-floppy, they pitching and they catching with these boys, and they doing all this. And if you gay, that's cool, but be gay and come on out and be that. Don't be in front of us and act like a straight-up G, and then you get over here and you let these boys bust up your back. Because, you know, it's going to come to the light. And yeah, I want to put that out there, man. This man ain't never seen me naked. I ain't never seen him naked. We don't desire to do no shit like that. We ain't going out like that. And we were wild young teenagers.
Before that X, that X, a lot of that shit fucking with a lot of these boys' heads. I don't know.
Everything that Diddy was accused of, they were speaking against it. Although Bun B, honestly, that I ain't gonna say too much. But they got Pimp C out of here because he was the main one that was with that energy. Like, nah. And he did a whole interview in Atlanta for 2 hours. It's on YouTube. But he was naming names. He was dropping headshots on people that was doing the things. So he's talking about here. He was dropping headshots on. He was dropping names on the people that were doing that stuff. And they got him right up out of here. That's why they said he died of lean. But his homeboy said when I went there, it looked like he was shot. We're going to leave that right there. Yeah, the small hassle. We got to get him up out of here. Okay. Let's get to our current situation right now. This is Sukihana. Right? This is what we're being given, right? So we're here right here. We have the puppet show. This is Sukihana. This is from her Instagram. She loves the Israelites on his post. What is it? What is her post right there? This is from 2023. She says, I think I want to be a wife next year. Tag a Hebrew Israelites. That's what this thought said. She wanted an Israelite husband. Okay. A few moments later, this is how she feels about the Israelites now. Let's go ahead and let's turn the volume all the way up. Puppet.
Valentine's Day, let me tell you something. These be the same niggas that be in the club every weekend celebrating failure. Yes, you in the club celebrating failure every weekend. Throwing money, popping bottles, turn the fuck up, and accomplish shit all year. But when your woman want to celebrate Valentine's Day, which I don't know what type of woman that you dating, but if she doing everything she's supposed to be doing, taking care of the household, cooking, cleaning, you feel me, making sure the kids is good, making sure you stay on point, you feel me? If she doing all that, she deserves something on Valentine's Day. Stop being a broke ass girl, and when Valentine's Day come, you all of a sudden you act like you a Hebrew Israelite. Baby, you ain't.
She loved the Israelites. Now she hates us because an Israelite man is not celebrating Valentine's Day. Let's move on. Let's just move on. You know what I'm saying? This is Matthew chapter 16, verse 26. It said, For what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his own soul? She knows she knows she's a sellout. Just listen. If you haven't seen this, some of y'all saw it already. If you haven't seen this, she knows she's a sellout.
I want to tell you I apologize and I'm sorry for what I'm about to say, but as far as this music stuff, I won't be doing this music stuff anymore. I started this because this was my dream. And, I wanted to make sure I could get me and my kids out the hood. It's always been my passion to rap. A while ago, I had signed a contract and I didn't know nothing about the business or this game out here. And just like, I'm realizing that I signed my soul. I sold my soul to the devil. I signed myself to the devil. I don't even own myself no more. I sold my soul to the motherfucking devil, and I done prayed. I prayed and I prayed and I prayed. It's just like, I don't know if God can get me out of this, and it's just like to the point where I don't even know, like I can't. I just want to say I'm sorry to my fans. I know y'all love me. I know y'all believe in me, but I can't. I didn't know what I was doing back then, and I lost passion. I don't even believe that. I don't even believe in myself no more because of what I did. I did not know the game was like this, and I'm just ready to go back to school. I'm just ready to move away and go to school.
I don't know like this. Did you say something?
What did she get? Because if you sold your soul, then you're supposed to get something in return. What the hell did she get, bro?
Or maybe they have something on her. They didn't have to give her because they have something on her. There's two things. Either they get you and give you something, or they got something on you.
They got something on you. Yeah. Well, let this be a cautionary tale, though. Go ahead, King.
Yeah. I just want to tell everybody I'm sorry. And I won't be making any more music until I'm out of this contract. And
that's a lie because she's still been making music anyway.
And it's trash.
and it's trash.
It's trash. Keep it real.
Yeah.
Like, who knows if that could ever happen? I don't know. I don't pray. I'm not praying. I'm not praying. I don't even know if God can hear me at this point.
God hears you. The Bible tells us the Most High does not hate. The Most High hates the prayers of those that do not keep His laws. In the Book of Proverbs. I butchered that, but that's pretty much what it says. The prayers of those that don't keep God's laws is an abomination. He ain't trying to hear you, Salakia, but that's what it is.
Biggest mistake that I ever made, and I just don't. You know, if you're an artist, make sure you have an attorney to read over your contract, and don't let the person that you signed it to pick the attorney. Don't let them pay for the attorney either, because I mean the attorney working for them. But I just lost my passion for this, and I'm just gonna go back to.
And what I want y'all to understand is that I have videos from a lot of rappers having regrets for their decisions. A lot of them. I only put some of them in this presentation because I could have gone on forever. Listen, part two of this lesson is going to be us talking about. Let's play Lil Wayne real quick. This clown. Let's play this clown real quick. Let's play Lil Wayne real quick. And I'm about to transition because I know it's almost 12 o'clock. Class is not going to stop. I got something else to deal with y'all on. But let's play Lil Wayne real quick. Let's end it right here.
At the age of 12 years old, I shot myself. I was in the house. Police knocked on the door. I was right there. They knocked the door down. Everybody jumped over my body to go get the guns and drugs and whatever they could find. It took one guy to stop right there and cuss everybody that hopped over me out. Like, what the fuck are y'all doing? They said, oh, no. We was going to see if it, what the fuck are y'all doing? We called the ambulance. An ambulance, do you not see this kid on the floor with this hole in his chest? Say, you drive. Pick me up. Brought me to the hospital. He didn't drop me off at the ambulance and say, you take him. He brought me to the hospital room and made two and stood there and waited till the doctor said he's gonna make it. He said, don't worry, my name's Uncle Bob. He was white as snow. Them that hopped over me was blacker than me.
What's he a cop?
Yeah, he was a cop, and my life was saved by a white man. I don't know what racism is.
This is where we're going to pick it up next week. Unless y'all do something crazy that maybe I have to talk about something else. We're going to do part 2 next week. We're going to talk about the drug game next week. We're going to talk about the drug game next week. Wayne said he don't know what racism is. We just saw it. The other nations plotting against us through our own creation to destroy us. We're going to talk about the drug game next week, which he raps about. So I didn't get to that today. Maybe it wasn't meant to that. I don't want y'all to go nowhere because the class is going to continue. For those of y'all that are supposed to be in the God First Gang room, I know that's going to start soon. For those of y'all that's supposed to be in the SOS room, that's going to start soon as well. But I want to have a conversation with y'all about something completely different that happened this week. Because, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my brother Roy the Chef, as I said. You know, he asked me some questions this week. So we go with the conscious community. Let me tell y'all something. Anybody that leaves the Israelite community and gets with the conscious community, you're stupid. I'm about to talk about that in a minute, but I want everybody that's not supposed to be here, that is, I don't know if the camp is, Elazar, if the camp is going to go out on the street teaching today, because up where I am, it snowed. I'm not sure what the weather is down there.
Not for brothers in the Northeast. It's too cold.
So for the brothers in the Northeast, y'all want to continue on with the class. I'm about to totally switch the topic, and I'm about to go into something else. Because I'm going to rebuke the conscious community just for a couple of minutes, real quick. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do that real quick. So I'm going to do my normal ending. And then for those of y'all that's going to continue with me, y'all can continue with me. We're about to rebuke the conscious community. Let me just come out of this PowerPoint real quick. All right. I'm going to stop sharing for a second. And I'm going to share in a minute. We're about to go to deal with something else. I want to make sure the class was edifying. Everybody that was edified by the class, just put 1 in the chat. Let me know that you guys were able to understand what it is I was teaching. Just want to make sure y'all good. Hang in there. I'm about to make some announcements, but the class is not over. We about to rebuke the conscious community because they're clowns. So I just want to make sure everybody's good. If the class is good, y'all put 1 in the chat. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going because I got some smoke for the conscious community. Yeah, I got some smoke for them. And y'all about to see the smoke I have. If y'all on Clubhouse, you have not clicked the link, you're missing out. If y'all not subscribed to our channel, y'all missing out. All right. So nobody go nowhere that wants to continue to learn. I'm just going to do the announcements real quick. So Passover is April the 1st, 2026 for Lions of Israel. I'm going to, just for a moment, put the banner back on the screen. Right, guys? The email to email us, and I did get some brothers that hit me up in my inbox on Facebook. I'm going to respond to you. But the way we want you guys to respond to us is through our email, right? So LOI Gatherings is the email to let us know you want to attend Passover. So the admins there can deal with it. But some of y'all, you know, I guess because y'all watch my videos, y'all want to deal with me directly, y'all come in my inbox. I would prefer for y'all not to do that, but y'all do. So I'm going to respond to y'all and let y'all know what's needed for Passover. But I would prefer for everybody else, just please go through the email that we have there and allow the admins to deal with you. I have people set up to deal with anybody that wants to come to Passover. So that's just not one more thing that I have to do. April 1st, Newark, New Jersey. If you email us and let us know you're coming, if you need some suggestions for where you should stay and, you know, whatever, we can give you guys that. Let us know how many people are coming, a way for us to contact you, and we'll get back to you and let you know what we need from you. All right. That's pretty much it for me. Sahab, you can say what you have to say. And we're going to keep going, guys. We're not going nowhere. We're about to get on the conscious community. I'm about to get on them in a second.
Well, God damn it, let's go.
All right. So Elder Zahab said, you know what? Leave it alone. He ain't got nothing to add. So anybody that's supposed to be in another room, y'all could go ahead and go over there. But over here, yeah, we about to I want smoke, which I did. I don't always want smoke. I want y'all to understand, I don't always want smoke. But what I don't like people playing with us. Right? So let's share my screen real quick. Right? We're gonna start here. This is my good brother Sinetta. Y'all know brother Sinetta, right? Hopefully you guys can see that. This is brother Sinetta. So this is a video where I guess Captain Tazariak was supposed to be the featured guest. I didn't see him in the video. He didn't never show up. But nevertheless, the conscious community was talking about us. So I want you guys to stay with me now. We're going to have a good time. If you're on Clubhouse, I would suggest y'all hit the link at the top of the room and come over here. This is funny. It's literally funny. I'm going to give you guys commentary as we go on. You guys have a behind the scenes view to see how things go, how they deal with myself, Tazariak, General Hashar, Zion Lex, Divine Prospect. Any of us that go on Sinetta's platforms, they play games with us. But the joke is on them every single time, as you guys are going to see, right? So we're going to start at 1 hour and 8 minutes into this video with Sinetta. I want you guys to pay attention. I'm going to give commentary on it as we go along. Pay attention. Listen.
You're not going to do nothing. Like I said, it's like one cop beating a young boy. And
I want y'all to watch Sinetta's eyes. And by the way, shout out to brother Sinetta. This is my guy. This ain't hate. But you be, as we're going to see, you be plotting on us. Okay, that's fine. But I want you to know that we know you be plotting on us. So those of us that know the way of warfare, we know how to battle in warfare. And Priest Daniela knows how to battle in warfare. It is what it is. Pay attention. Watch his eyes. He's plotting. Pay attention.
Other cops standing there knowing he's wrong, but ain't stopping it.
Right.
That's just what they go against the program.
Right. So you guys are going to hear Sinetta's phone ringing. As these guys are having a conversation about nothing, Sinetta is running down his list of his Israelite friends and calling because they want to do what's called ambush scholarship, meaning that they're looking to call somebody and catch you off guard and ask you a question you wasn't even thinking about because you're going about your day. You might be at work, you might be at home, handling business, whatever. You're not even thinking in the moment about nothing. They want to ambush you, ask you a question, and then try to embarrass you. This is called ambush scholarship. And it's right there in front of you guys' faces. And it's okay.
Hold on. My brother name is Elder Suntan.
Yeah.
Am I reading that right?
Yeah, I like Suntan. Suntan's a nice guy. I like him. Yeah, that's his name.
I'm trying to understand the name because Israelites, our names or whatever are biblical. I'm trying to understand. My brother just said Suntan. All right, cool.
He said Hotep family. Hotep.
Elder Siba Raku Futu.
Yes, it's okay.
Okay. All right.
Just I want you guys to understand that, and I want you guys to understand that what I'm doing, I'm just giving y'all some. Everybody that's doing the academy, not tomorrow. Tomorrow's class is going to be different. But next week, we're going to be dealing with this. I'm only giving this crowd that's here now a little bit, but in the academy, I'm giving y'all all of it. So just understand, some of the stuff I'm about to show you guys, it's going to be repeated in the academy next week, which means I expect to see high quiz scores for everybody that's doing the academy on the questions that I'm about to show y'all now. Nobody should get none of these questions wrong because you're going to see it now, and you're going to see it next week in the academy too. I'm not giving everything. I'm not about to go through the whole PowerPoint. I'm just going to give the cliff notes because Roe the chef asked me to go over this. So I'm just going to give some. Nevertheless, let's continue. I want y'all guys to watch Sanetta right here. His eyes are just going back and forth. He's plotting. Listen.
You're right, Meta. That's what it is. And I don't know.
This is a drive-by. Sanetta is running down his Rolodex of Israelites to call them, to ask them a random question and catch them off guard. That's exactly what he's doing. Pay attention.
I don't approve of that, man.
Hey, Meta, did you get your first? What does it stand for? Your name. Yeah.
First Israelite didn't answer. The first Israelite he called did not answer because most of us are hip to the game. Let's keep going.
It's my name since birth.
Okay.
It's my name since birth.
See him scratching his chin. He's plotting. Pay attention.
Here in Detroit, what neighborhood was you from? What part?
We lived over there off of.
While they're talking, Sanet's running through his Rolodex, trying to call the next Israelite. He's plotting. Listen.
McNichols and 6 Mile.
Nigga, that's my neighborhood. We the Bronx.
That's the second Israelite he's calling.
Mile and Schaefer.
I'm sorry, not Mac. I'm some because 6 Mile.
Hold on. I remember back in the days when I used to call these Israelites.
They'll answer real quick.
Right, real quick. Oh, this is
the reason why we don't. Sanetta, you my man. The reason why we understand this is a drive-by. You're gonna hear him say that. They're trying to set us up. They're trying to set us up. And we know it. Watch.
I could beat him up easy.
You didn't went to the book on it.
Yeah. Hey, they don't push the cancel button. They just let it ring. Right.
Look, what they don't like what Sai do is he put, since they in the reference of God, Sai put God, the whole God, into their narrative.
Right.
And that's where it messes up.
I use their book against them.
I'm only giving y'all a preview. Eventually, you guys are gonna see. I came in the building. I was watching all of this. Watch the energy change. Listen to what I'm telling y'all. I ain't gonna give you all of it. The academy's gonna get all this. Watch the energy change when I come in the room. Let's keep going.
That's right. They don't see it then. They got a lot of explaining to do to you, but they won't do it.
Right. But I feel like there's 2 parts though of the Bible by which they try to put out there. One is this absolute just war, and the other half they will try to bring love into the,
Hold on. If you're not paying attention, this is the third Israelite he's called. It's the third one. We all know, those of us that know, that deal with them know they're doing a drive-by. You busy at work, you're at home, you just got home, you're not even thinking about it. They're trying to catch you off guard to try to embarrass you on the channel. We know what time it is. Listen to what I'm telling y'all. Sonetta is gonna tell you it's a drive-by. He gonna tell you they're trying to catch us out there. Listen.
It's a drive-by. This is what me and Polite used to do.
Yeah, I remember the drive-by.
Did y'all hear that? Did you hear that?
Yeah, but my man, he got some nerve mentioning Polite, bro. That's not the type of name or company you want to be mentioned with. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, go ahead.
Did you guys hear that? This is not sincere. This is a drive-by. They're trying to embarrass us. This is why, for those of y'all that's doing the academy, that's learning about apologetics, this is why y'all are there. This is what these niggas be doing. I'm teaching y'all how to deal with these niggas because this is what they do. They're looking to try to embarrass you and make you look bad. Let's keep going.
Yeah. The drive-by since 2016.
Come on, Deacon the card. Pick up, man. Pick up, Deacon. They all see him
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available.
Brothers and sisters, sending it to voicemail because everybody knows. Those of us, some of y'all are not in the battlefield. Y'all don't know. Those of us that know, we know exactly what he's doing. Send him the voicemail. Like, we're not dealing with that right now. Stop playing. But let's keep going because I'm gonna get called. I'm gonna get named. Let's keep going.
Why do you think you can't get one Israelite?
Yeah, Deacon the card. He's scared to death.
What about Bakwash?
Oh, yeah. Bakwash.
So the first person they call out is Bakwash. Call Bakwash. Keep listening.
Man.
You call Bakwash.
Yeah, he pick up. Bakwash gonna pick up.
He might be out in the game outside today.
They don't mean well. They believe in what they believe in.
Right.
And
you call Bakwash.
Daniela in a long time.
There it is.
I called Daniela.
Y'all hear that? Y'all caught that? Let's go back. Listen.
Because if he did, anybody that he sees that's doing wrong or going against what the Bible says, you will attack that.
He believe in it.
Right.
What they don't like.
Can they all see him live?
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available.
Why do you think you can't get one Israelite?
Yeah, Deacon the card. He's scared to death.
What about Bakwash?
Oh, yeah. Bakwash.
Man. You call Bakwash.
Yeah, he pick up. Bakwash gonna pick up.
He might be out in the game outside today.
They don't mean well. They believe in what they believe in.
Right.
And you call Daniela in a long time.
I called Daniela.
So Sonetta said he called me. You heard that? The brother Elder Seba said, call Daniela. So listen, I called him and he didn't pick up. Yeah, because I saw you calling me. I'm watching the video. I see what you're doing. I really don't want to deal with this right now because I'm busy. I'm literally busy, right? So I said I'm being honest. And maybe one of y'all will send this to Sonetta. It's cool. I'm like, I don't feel like really dealing with this right now because I know you're doing a drive-by. I know what you're doing. I don't feel like dealing with it, right? So I didn't pick up. I'm being honest, right? So I want you guys to understand, you guys don't see this side outside of you. You guys don't see this, but we know this is what they do. They want to embarrass us, right? So let's keep going.
Picked up last week and I spoke to him for a while.
Peace, Brother Reggie.
Yeah, because Sonetta called me last week and asked me to come and do an interview on his channel. I said I would. But now he's calling me for a drive-by. They want to try to embarrass me real quick in front of everybody. And I didn't pick up because I know the game. What are we talking about? I know the game. Let's keep going.
Hey, Red.
What's up, Sonetta? What's up?
Hey, Bakwash, what you doing, man?
So they called Bakwash from the 14th Street Israelites. They called him. Now, Bakwash is a good brother. Unlike us, the rest of us, Bakwash came on there knowing that they're trying to set him up. He still said, you know what? I'm going to come on. Let's keep listening.
You busy?
I can talk. What's up?
Can you hit the panel?
Yeah, you will give me 2 minutes.
All right, go ahead. I'm going to give you 2 minutes. We got it.
So you guys saw that, right? This is a setup. Before Baquash got on the phone, he probably, unlike me, he probably wasn't watching the live. They already said this is a drive-by. You know what I'm saying? They called him. He's blind. He don't know what's going on. So he's about to jump on there, and they're about to attack him. The reason why we're watching this, I got pissed when I saw this because I'm like, they're playing with my brother. You're not gonna play with my brother. You're not gonna do that. Not with me watching. You're not gonna do that. Anyway, let's keep going.
I'm gonna tell you one thing about Baquash though. To me, he's just like Captain Cesario.
He gonna stick to his gun.
Yeah, he stand on 10. Yeah. Regardless of who it hurt or who believe it, he do stand on his.
Well, like, tell you who else stand on theirs again, and this guy is the new guy. What's his name? The one that was talking to stuff about
Easy Bands.
Yeah.
Yeah, Easy Band. To me, I like.
Now, we've never done a review in my classes. I do these in the academy. We've never done this in the class. I'm not going to do all of it because this is really for the academy. I'm really doing this for my brother Roe. Just a little bit. Let's keep going.
Easy Band. I think Easy Band is more historical with his. He knows the history and stuff.
Right, but he stands on his though, sir.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah, Easy Band stand on his own 10 toes. Yep. Yeah, I like Easy Bands, man.
Okay. So, brothers and sisters, for those of y'all that don't know, this is Brother Reggie. This is where I was listening to this the whole thing for the whole time. I wasn't really triggered. I wasn't really upset. So I wasn't planning on getting on until Reggie got on. And Reggie started talking SHI, and I got upset. Because I don't like pride. I'm telling y'all flat, I don't like pride. I researched like hell. Those of y'all that watch my class, everybody knows I researched like hell. And you brothers and sisters that met me in person or just watch my classes know there's no pride here. I don't treat anybody any lesser because I read more books than you. I know more stuff than you. I know more breakdowns than you. Everybody that's met me knows that I carry myself humble. I'm always that way. So when this nigga came on the platform and started talking the way I'm going to show you he was talking, I got upset. I don't like that because if we're going to be real, if I was to challenge you about what you're saying, your energy is going to change. What you guys are going to see, his energy is going to change when I jump on and challenge him. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. I want y'all to listen.
Sonetta.
What's up, Dr. Reg?
Hey, how you doing in this cold day?
Good, man.
And I'm
cold up here too, Reggie.
Yeah. Peace, elder son.
What up, Red? What up, Red?
Okay. And Rakufu. Okay, so here's the deal. Sonetta, on your platform, I am probably one of your top researchers, and I.
So do you guys hear that? He said I'm the top researcher. Y'all know. Y'all should already know where we're going. I'm going to take his temperature on that. I don't pop out often, but as a great philosopher Kendrick Lamar said, sometimes you got to pop out and show. So he made a statement. He said he's one of the best researchers. You guys do know that I did pop out. Anyway, let's keep going.
I try to be unbiased. So when I came on the other night, between Pastor Bennett and the Holy Ghost, what I was trying to do for the channel is clear up what was on the table.
I'm gonna fast forward just a little bit because Reggie is stuttering like crazy. Let's go just a little bit, right? Back. All right. This is when our good brother Baquash from the 14th Street Israelites, who they were trying to blindside, they were running a drive-by on our brother. But this is when he popped up on the platform. Let's go back just a little bit because Reggie said something that's crazy. I don't want to miss what he said. Listen.
All right. But he stands on his though, sir.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah, Easy Band stand on his own 10 toes. Yep. Yeah, I like Easy Bands, man.
Sonetta. Right. Captain Cesario, now he chimes in. Why? Because he wanted to see the fight, probably for his purposes. I'm slowing it down, but he's not my captain. He may be sometimes your captain, but research is my captain, right? And
research is your captain, and we about to see that your research on this subject is terrible. Let's keep going.
So, but absolutely, Pastor Bennett, when it comes to this topic, he's the best research person that I've heard on the topic. Pastor Bennett, right? Captain knows the Bible, right? But Pastor Bennett knows something else more than the Bible. He does know out of the Bible. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. That's true, Captain. He knows history. Yeah, that's true.
Right. So ultimately, to our family, right? Because I'm not the religious stuff is really interesting to me only because it's on the channel. The fact of the matter is, the church fathers have always been in charge of the Bible.
Stop. Y'all heard that? He said the church fathers have always been in charge of the Bible. Now, this is really academy stuff, but I'm just, for those of y'all that are still here. He said the church fathers from the 1st century all the way through the 4th century, they were in charge of the Bible. I know that that's BS, but for the sake of, and as I'm watching this, before I called in, I was getting mad. I'm like, this nigga said he's the best researcher, and he said this. You can't be the best researcher and then say the church fathers were in charge of the Bible. That's BS. But, let's go ahead. Let's switch over to this PowerPoint. This is for the academy, right? This is for the academy. Let's scroll down to slide number 5. And we're going to just blow it up just for a second. I decided, first and foremost, we're in the age of technology. Let's ask AI. I already know the answer. But let's ask AI. Let's help our good brother Reggie out, who said he's the best researcher. Hey, AI, did the church fathers always have control of the Bible manuscripts? The short answer is what? What does that say right there, brothers and sisters? It says no. It says no. The idea that a centralized group of church fathers sat in a room with a master set of manuscripts from day one is more of a Dan Brown plot than historical reality. The journey of the Bible from papyrus to modern bound books was much more decentralized and chaotic, and honestly, human than most people realize. Reggie don't know what in the French toast he's talking about whatsoever. Let's come here. So, when you look at the manuscripts that the AI is talking about, the manuscripts, the 4 major manuscript families, some manuscripts of the Bible were found in Rome of the New Testament. Some manuscripts were found in Antioch, which is in Syria. And some manuscripts were found in Alexandria, Egypt. The church fathers didn't have control of all of these manuscripts at all. They did not. I don't know what Reggie's talking about. I don't know what he's talking about. And he got on the line and started bragging about his accolades that he has, so he gave to himself. I didn't like it. I was going to let it fly till y'all try to do a drive-by on Bakwash, because Bakwash is not necessarily a guy that goes into the history like that. And y'all know that, so you're trying to play him. So that's why I had to come in. I'm like, no, I'm not going to let that happen. Let's come out of it, and let's come back, and let's continue where we left off. Let's see, right here. Okay, let's go.
The channel is clear up what was on the table, and so people thought that I'm slowing it down, but I'm not here for entertainment, right? So the question is, one, that they use Numa and Haggai, right? They did not use ghosts. Ghosts came. Right. Church fathers are those that Captain hates.
Wait, let's go back a little bit.
Amen. Or facts, right? Or entertainment and facts. So I apologize to community because I'm not trying to give you entertainment, right? I'm trying to give you the facts, right? Right. Captain Tazariak now, he chimes in. Why? Because he wanted to see the fight, probably for his purposes. I'm slowing it down, but he's not my captain. He may be sometimes your captain, but research is my captain, right? And so, but absolutely, Pastor Bennett, when it comes to this topic, he's the best research person that I've heard on the topic. Pastor Bennett, right? Captain knows the Bible, right? But Pastor Bennett knows something else more than the Bible. He does know out of the Bible. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. That's true, Captain. He knows history. Yeah, that's true.
Right. So ultimately, to our family, right? Because I'm not the religious stuff is really interesting to me only because it's on the channel. The fact of the matter is, the church fathers have always been in charge of the Bible,
and we debunk that. Let's let him keep talking.
The church fathers are those that Captain hates, right? But they're the ones who compiled the Bible.
Right. That is also a lie, but that's for the academy. The church fathers did not compile the Bible, but let's keep going.
So the other night, they wanted to make it look like the Bible pages that magically appeared, that they were so strong that it created this Bible. No, we have to look at what the church fathers did.
So let me ask Bakwash real quick.
Yes.
Bakwash, do you agree?
Now, shout out to Brother Bakwash. This is no slight towards him, but Bakwash doesn't necessarily go into the history of the church fathers. He doesn't study that. They know that. They brought him here to try to play with him, but they didn't know I was watching. Let's keep going.
With Dr. Reggie, as far as the church fathers putting the Bible together.
Define church fathers. When you say church fathers, who are you talking about exactly?
Polycarp, you know, Origin, right?
I want you guys to listen to the two names that Reggie said. Reggie said Polycarp and Origin were responsible for putting the Bible together. He's going to eat those words when I come in the room. I want y'all to know that. Let's keep going. Just for a little more. Just a little more.
And even how can I say the Roman emperors?
He said the Roman emperors put the Bible together. What we at 1 minute and 15 seconds, or 1 hour and 15 minutes, right? He said the Roman emperors. Let's go back just a little bit. Make sure that we get it right. He said the Roman emperors put the Bible together. Let's see.
Church fathers are those that Captain hates, right? But they're the ones who compiled the Bible.
Right.
So the other night, they wanted to make it look like the Bible pages that magically appeared, that they were so strong that it created this Bible. No, we have to look at what the church fathers did.
So let me ask Bakwash real quick.
Yes.
Bakwash, do you agree with Dr. Reggie as far as the church fathers putting the Bible together?
Define church fathers. When you say church fathers, who are you talking about exactly?
Polycarp, you know, Origin, right? And even how can I say the Roman emperors?
We're gonna stop right there. Let's come back out. We have 1 minute and 15, 1 hour and 15 minutes. Let's come out. Hey, this is crazy. So let's come down here. Let's see. Is this what it is? I believe I don't know where I have it. Did I put it in here or I didn't put it in here? Let me make sure. Let me make sure it's in here. Oh, here we go. The slides are not in 100% order yet because this is really for the academy and I'm still working on it. So let's go ahead and let's look right here. It says, I asked the same AI because I already know the answer. Did the Roman emperors put the Bible together? It said the idea that the Roman emperors put the Bible together is popular historical myth. Historical myth. It's myth. The Roman emperor that Reggie is referring to, that he takes for granted that Israelites don't know, but I know, he's talking about Constantine. He's talking about Constantine. The reality is the Council of Nicaea was called to discuss the nature of Jesus. The Council of Nicaea was not brought together to put the Bible together like the conscious community teach. That's his myth. The Council of Nicaea was brought together to discuss the nature of Christ, whether Christ was God or God and man. There was an argument between two sides, whether Christ was completely God or whether he was partially God and partially man. It was not about putting books in the Bible. That is a lie. That's a lie. These guys, this is the man that said he's the best reason. Oh my God. Anyway, what we're going to do, because I'm not going to do too much more. Let's come back here. This is funny as all hell. Where am I at? Okay. This is funny as all hell, right? Let's let him talk just a little bit more, and then we're going to fast forward.
Right? They were always in control of the Bible.
Yeah, but the Roman emperors were not always in control of the Bible. What is he talking about? Anyway, let's keep going.
Devils, though. Yeah, you can't go by what they put.
But they put in, okay, Bakwash, my brother, I'm going to be patient with you. Tell us how the Bible got put together without them.
The Bible, see, I asked you this question the last time I spoke to you. Calm down, Reg. I'm just starting, man.
See, what I want you guys to understand is that this is a setup. This is a setup. Let's go and let's fast forward just a little bit, right? Oh, let's go back a little bit. Okay. Right here. So, as I told y'all, I'm watching this. I hit son at his phone. I said, yo, you know your man Reggie is up there and he's pseudo as hell. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, son. That is behind the scenes laughing with me like I know. I said, you know what? I said, I'm about to pop in. I'm about to pop in for a second, right? Let's go ahead and let's pick it up from that, right? Let's go.
There are some things. I love my parents. They're deceased. Now they're ancestors. So now I don't talk to them. If I have to, I will pray. I have spirituality. What I don't have is a conversion to a book that dragged out people from another continent to this continent and then claim that it was our people's punishment, all the while God was rewarding the oppressor. You feel that that's going to be reconciled in the next life. But what kills us is to see our people suffer and there is no God to intervene. Apostles' lights was out the other night. You maybe wasn't on show. So there was a storm. He didn't prepare. He didn't buy water, food. He didn't buy any of that. He comes on our panel crying, talking about everything was happening to him. And what I basically said to him, well, did you prepare? You should have a generator. You moved into Tennessee in the mountains.
And we teach that too. Teach about preparation. You should prepare for what's getting ready to come. We teach that too. Why Apostle didn't do that, we don't know. Let's keep going.
Basically, right? So you should at least have that, right? As far as food, all your refrigerator stopped working. Well, he's not too smart because all he could have done is put his food in a garbage pail, right? And fill it up with the ice and the snow, and it would not spoil, right? I'm saying that what's happening with you all is you're removing the truth and even practicality. You put everything up into the spirit, right? I don't use the word spirit. I don't use it with the Cometics, right? I don't use that. I disagree with them. I think that they are converts themselves. Well, anyway, son, that is back in controls. So, Bakwash, we continue to have this conversation, but I want the people who are listening to me research the church fathers.
And I did. And we're about to talk about it in just a hot second. Let's keep going.
And research how they put the Bible together. Then you will find out that Bakwash actually believes in what they did.
This is son that are being dramatic. Because I already talked to him. I already called him and told him, I'm about to come in here and check your boy. So this is son that are being, you guys don't see behind the scenes like this before. This is son that are being drastic. You know what I'm saying? Being dramatic for views.
I won't speak.
Please get your honors in the building. My main man is.
Uh-oh. Sorry, y'all. Sorry. Let's go back. I don't know what I did. My bad. All right, where we at? Press the wrong button. My bad, y'all. We at?
We teaching what we believe. You will never fit.
For whatever reason, it's fake.
So peace to the good brother Reggie.
All right, let's go.
Man is in the building. What up, Daniel Olive?
I can't call it. What's up, Sal? Peace to you.
What do you think about Reggie dropping this information?
Well, let me first of all say this. I haven't spoken to Reggie in a long time, so peace to the good brother Reggie, who I have many times in the past said both privately to him and publicly that I respect that brother. I respect his intelligence. I respect his acumen. I respect his research. But it doesn't mean that you write about everything.
No.
And even hold on, Reggie.
Are y'all listening? He's in the background. I love you, brother. Yeah, because you know I didn't come here for nothing. Like I came here because I don't like what you're doing. So now all of a sudden it's love and everything because you know.
Even the best researchers are wrong sometimes, and so it's good to have a level of humility even when you're bringing out information in case what you're saying is not 100% factually correct. And there is a sort of air of arrogance in your speech to Brother Bakwash in terms of your research versus his. And that's why I came on the panel. I've heard you say a couple of things, and I'd like to give you the floor to kind of teach the family and teach me as well.
So remember now, give me y'all memory. I'm going to do this much more concise in the academy. Reggie earlier said that Origen and Polycarp were part of putting the Bible together, giving us the Bible. Just listen. Just listen.
So you mentioned Polycarp. You asked what was his role in putting the Bible together. I say he didn't have a role, but you mentioned it more than once. So what source can I read? Can you cite for me that Polycarp was involved in putting the Bible together? I'm listening.
Go ahead, Dr. Reggie.
Yeah. So before Polycarp, right, there's Justin Martyr Origen, right?
That's the first mistake. Did y'all catch that? Did you catch that? I asked him about Polycarp. He starts talking about somebody else. That's called a straw man. That's a logical fallacy in arguments. See, they was playing with Bakwash. When I came in the room, you realize playtime is over. I asked you about Polycarp. You start talking about Justin Martyr. Why? Let's keep going.
So you definitely have a right to ask me about Polycarp. Polycarp's role is in theology, right?
Did y'all catch that? I'm gonna have to bring it back. What's the question on the table? I want to make sure y'all paying attention. Reggie was saying to Bakwash and Sanet and everybody else on the platform before I got there, Polycarp was involved in putting the Bible together. Now he's saying, well, he was involved in theology, meaning he was involved in the breakdowns. He was not involved in putting the Bible together. Now that I done showed up, now your message changed because I challenged you on that. Let's go back.
So peace to the good brother Reggie. Who?
Go ahead, Dr. Reggie.
Yeah. So before Polycarp, right, there's Justin Martyr Origen, right? So you definitely have a.
And watch Bakwash. Bakwash is having a good time right here. He's laughing because he knows. I didn't come here to play. He knows this. He's laughing.
Right, to ask me about Polycarp. Polycarp's role is in theology, right?
That's not what I asked you, nigga. That's not what I asked you. Let's keep going.
All right. So let me just pull up from my paper.
Trying to find a paper somewhere.
So you can't separate you can separate Polycarp with from the rest because they all had different theological differences, right?
Why are we talking about theology? He said these are the guys that put the Bible together. Putting the Bible together as opposed to the breakdowns is two different things. I asked you about you saying they put the Bible together. Let's keep going.
He appears, of course, in later Christian history, right? but he becomes the Bishop of Smyrna, right? And so then he becomes a 2nd century apostolic father, right? So then now we go into how the church migrates from the 1st century to the 2nd century and forward. But he is, how can I say, they say Polycarp is a key early witness to the Bible and apostolic teachings, right?
You're talking about what he taught, but you told Bakwash and Sarnetta he put the Bible together. Then when I showed up, now you're saying something else. Let's keep going.
So
basically, family.
So now I'm going to challenge him. Listen.
What Reggie's saying is he agrees with me. Polycarp didn't really have anything to do with putting the Bible together. But continue, brother. Continue.
Okay, so now let's go back. Okay, that's
and y'all see Bakwash laughing? And listen to what Sarnetta says. Listen.
Yeah, we can move on to Origin. We can move on to Origin next. What rules in Origin having putting the Bible together? I'm listening.
This is what we teach in LOI Academy. For those of y'all, shout out to LOI Academy. This is what we teach. I'll give y'all a little. This is what we teach. We go into these things like we're not playing no games. Let's go.
Okay. Origin came up with
this is why the Academy exists. Because I'm telling y'all that these are the things that they be trying to do to make y'all lose your faith. I'm in there teaching y'all you don't have to lose your faith. They don't know what they're talking about.
Justin Martyr, the fact that Israel, the old Israel, and the Hebrews are of the flesh, and that the new Israel, the true Israel, right, is those who accept Christ. So then when they do that, then they are themselves separating, well, they bring in the Gentiles into the church.
Look at McQuash's face, y'all.
That's what they're doing. They're bringing the Gentiles into the church because the old doctrine was you had to be all those customs. So all those customs went away. So the new Israel are Hellenistic Gentiles that believe in Christ. None of them is on the flesh.
Look at McQuash, y'all.
So, ladies and gentlemen, what Brother Reggie has told us is that Justin Martyr and Origin brought in a new theology, but he didn't mention anything about them being responsible for putting the Bible together. So that's 3 so far. You know, baseball 3 strikes. Hey, Reggie, in baseball 3 strikes and you're out. Now let me ask you a question.
So that's it. I'm not gonna give y'all no more. This is really for the Academy. I want y'all to understand when I tell y'all that y'all in the truth, you're in the truth. Y'all are seeing it firsthand. I don't always pop out, but I pop out sometimes. These dudes do not know what the F they talking about. But you got to get out of being accustomed to watching Israelite videos, to be entertained, to see scoffers and everything, and get into the weeds of being able to defend this Bible through apologetics and be able to stand in front of them like you don't know what you're talking about. That's what we do in the Academy. That's the level that most of y'all are the teachers have to get to. Now, before I end the class, let's move over to a couple of things real quick. These are the things that Roe had asked me for, right? I'm gonna open it up from this current slide. This is a book that I've recommended to you guys before called The Final Authority, A Christian's Guide to the KJV, the King James Bible, by Dr. William P. Grady. So there's other things I'm going to extract in the Academy when I would go over that video because there's more. As y'all saw the conversation was going on, I just stopped it there. But I asked Reggie and I challenged Reggie about the tiers of the church fathers, which he couldn't answer either. Maybe another time I'll do this whole class for a Sabbath. It's very, very complex and very, very intricate. I don't know if y'all really want to sit and listen to that at 10 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday morning. If y'all do, I'll take a vote later. And after I teach it in the Academy, maybe I'll circle back and teach it in the regular class, right? But I challenged Reggie about this, and he didn't know. I asked him about the tiers of the church fathers, since you say that you're the top researcher. So you should know this, because I know it. There's 3 tiers of the church fathers, right? You have the early church fathers, also known as the church fathers of the apostolic age. Those are the ones you read about in the Bible. Those are your apostolic age church fathers. They're the most accurate. They're the most closest to the time of the actual apostles and Christ himself. Then you have the ante-Nicene church fathers, the church fathers before the Council of Nicaea. And the third tier is the post or after the Nicene Council church fathers. They are not all equal. So, as I was explaining to Reggie, and I start here in this book, The Final Authority, we're on page number 37, right? It says, right here, the second to last paragraph, with the Council of Nicaea. Let me come out and make it just a little bit bigger, because I know sometimes some of y'all looking at this on a small device. So maybe or maybe not, you can't see it. So I'm going to make it a little bit bigger for you guys. All right, let's bring it out. And I'm about to end it shortly. It says, with the Council of Nicaea, AD 325, acting as their chronological watershed. So the Nicene Council is the date that we're starting with. Church historians will generally arrange the church fathers by the era in which they lived. This is what I asked him in the video, and he failed to be able to answer. But he's a top scholar. Okay. You have the apostolic church fathers. That's from AD 75 through 150, right? This is after the death of Christ, after the times of Paul's writing to his epistles, so forth and so on. From there, all the way through John being put on the island of Patmos, all the way to 150. These are the apostolic age church fathers. These are the people, so you guys understand, the key word is apostolic age, meaning these church fathers would have known either one of the apostles or one of the apostles' students. They would be very, very close in proximity to these people, so their doctrine would be purer. Everybody understand? Then you have the ante-Nicene church fathers. This is still before the Council of Nicaea. These guys coming from 150 AD to 325, these guys would not have known the apostles. So the doctrine won't be as pure. And then you have the post-Nicene church fathers after the council between 325 and 500 AD. Is everybody understanding? Hopefully this is not too deep. However, an even more significant designation would be by the geographical areas, meaning you had the Western church fathers, you had the Alexandrian church fathers, meaning the ones that were in Alexandria, Egypt, and the Antiochian church fathers. These would be the ones that are in Syria. So the relevance of this regional triad to the study of manuscript evidences should be apparent by now. Therefore, the following breakdown of the most pertinent church fathers is listed according to both criterion. For the apostolic age, we have the Western church fathers, Clement of Rome. So that tells you where he was. The Antiochian church fathers, you have Ignatius. Ignatius would be in a place like Syria or the Levant, places like that. You have Polycarp, also an Antiochian church father. And watch this, this is important. You have no major Alexandrian church fathers. Where's Alexandria in Egypt? So, hopefully you guys were paying attention to what Bakwash was saying. Reggie said that Bakwash hated the church fathers. Bakwash doesn't hate the church fathers. He understands, even if he's not able to articulate it the way I'm articulating it, all the church fathers are not created equal. And a lot of the church fathers that are given reverence are the ones from Egypt, from Alexandria. The problem is that none of those church fathers are from the apostolic age. They actually knew the apostles or Christ. None of them. The ones in Egypt come later. That's the problem. I ain't gonna get too deep into it right now. That's the problem. So Bakwash understood it even if he didn't articulate it. I came there to articulate it. And as I'm going to show in the academy, and if I do this class later, you're going to see even Reggie and Sanetta was paying homage, like, you know what? They understood that I came there and I was dropping the information. They had to pay respect to it because it is what it is, right? Okay. So that's the tiers. That is important, brothers and sisters, because as we look at the missionary journeys, here is Alexandria, Egypt, right here. You see no apostolic missionary journeys to Egypt. No firsthand people going to Egypt and preaching the gospel. You see it everywhere else, but you don't see it here. That's why in the first century, there's no church fathers from Alexandria, Egypt. The primary church fathers are from here and from Rome. So their gospel or their understanding of scriptures would be more pure. So you mentioning Origen. Origen is from Egypt. He's not on the same level as a Polycarp. Polycarp is from Smyrna, which is a place where apostolic missions took place. I think this is too deep. I don't know. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, this is crazy. I'm gonna skip some of this. Some of the stuff is like really, really technical. So I'm just kind of going through certain things. Skip that too. I'm not gonna do this right now because I'm already pressed for time. This is all gonna be taught in the academy. You have a guy by the name of Marcion. I'm gonna be real quick, so I'm gonna get to you in a minute. You have a guy by the name of Marcion. Is also an early church father that put together a canon. Me and Reggie were talking about this. This canon is trash. I do want to read this, and I hope this is not going to make anybody short circuit or not understand. Let me do this real quick. Let me see something. Let me come back up here. So Reggie said that the church fathers had control of all the scriptures, right? You know what? I'm not even going to go into this right now because I think this is probably too much for a Saturday class. You got to come to the academy to learn this. I'm not even going to go into this. This is too much. Zahab, what were you going to say? I'm going to stop sharing my screen. While Zahab is talking.
Nah, go. Oh, well, it was a slide I wanted you to touch on. You briefly whizzed past it.
Okay.
Slide 13.
Slide 13. Let's go to that again. Okay. So I'll talk about it real quick, and then you can ask your question. So one of the conversations, the reason why I didn't go into it, Zahab, is because it was part of the video I didn't play when Reggie was speaking about how the church fathers had control over the Bible and they put the Bible together. I was explaining to them they did not have control of the Bible because let me come here again. I don't want to make it too complicated. In the manuscript tradition, there were thousands of manuscripts of these. There was no one person or no one group that had control of all the manuscripts. They did not, right? So what happened when I was trying to explain to him, which I'm creating in my PowerPoint, what this slide is speaking to is that the Catholic Church would have councils where they described or they argued about what books will be included in the Bible and what books will be excluded from the Bible. They had those councils. And once they made a decision about what books will be included, if you were found in possession of scrolls of something that they excluded, the book was burned and you were burned. Does that make sense? So that proves they didn't have control over everything. So once they made their decision, they understood that there were manuscripts circulating out of there that they didn't have control over. They would kill you and burn the book. Some of the books, which I didn't really want to go into, are in our modern Bible today, right? So where is it? Some of the books are in our modern Bible today, right? Like you will have.
You're not sharing your screen, by the way.
Oh, I'm not? Okay, let me go back and do that. Salakia. Let me share the screen again. My bad, the water for that. Now I'm gonna repeat what I said again so you guys can see it on the screen. So this is a list of papal bulls. So let's go back a little bit because I didn't show you guys this. This is a map of where the manuscripts are found. There were thousands of manuscripts found in these areas, right? So the church fathers didn't have control over all the manuscripts. So what happened is that once the Catholic Church had their councils and they decided what books they were going to include in the Bible and what books they were going to exclude from the Bible, if you were found in possession of manuscripts that they said they were excluding, you were killed. And you can see this in all these are all the different papal bulls. Now, the reason why that's important is because as I'm demonstrating, trying to see what page is it on. Got to be here. Make it bigger. There were certain books in the New Testament that we accept today. I'm trying to figure out which book is in. Here it is. There are certain books in our Bible that we accept today that at one point the Roman Catholic Council said were heresy, right? We accept 2nd and 3rd John today. That's in your Bible. At one point, the Roman Catholic Church said, that's not canon. If you have a copy of it, we're going to burn it and you. The book of Jude, that's the book right before Revelation. At one point, it was not part of your Bible, right? The book of James, it's in our Bible today. At one point, it wasn't in your Bible. The book of 2nd Peter, at one point, it was not in your Bible. The book of Revelation, at one point, it was not in your Bible. Does everybody understand what I'm showing y'all? So this is why I was arguing with Reggie about the church fathers never controlled the Bible. These manuscripts always existed. They just were having their councils amongst themselves, deciding what they wanted to include, and what they wanted to include was included, and whatever they said was not part of the Bible, it was burned, and you were burned. The problem is that guess what? The Most High decided what the canon of the Bible was going to be, and that's where King James comes in, the whole nine, so forth and so on, the whole history, which I'm going to go into in the academy in the future. Reggie picked on Bakwash because he understood Bakwash may not have known these things, but you guys see, I was prepared for that. I was prepared to have a conversation. With that being said, I know it's a lot, so I'm gonna leave it right there. Hey,
nah, but it's all relevant.
Yeah.
His stance should have been like how the Catholic Church try to manipulate certain books and how they go about creating their own canon. That's what he'd have been more substantiated in doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to make it look like men create the Bible and men control. Nah, bro. You know, the time he spent trying to focus on the Bible, trying to discredit the Most High and His Word, you should focus on yourself, brother. Because I know for a fact, I don't know what that brother's end game is, but you're not taking down the Israelites. You're not taking out, because this thing is not of one man, right? It's of the Most High. So forget about that. You're not taking it down. If you think we're gonna put on some damn ankhs and that crazy headgear and a bunch of pyramids and talk about we Egypt, nah, that will never happen. So keep throwing stones, keep knocking at the door, brother. One day, you never know, the Lord might slap you with a beam of light like he did Paul, right? and Reggie joined the camp, right?
If I can say something real quick too, another reason why the church fathers of Alexandria are not on the same level as those that come from the first century, the apostolic fathers, is because the ones that were in Egypt, they were dealing with syncretism. That's the two most popular church fathers from Egypt is Origen and Philo. Don't listen to Priest Daniela. Don't listen to me. Everybody, don't listen. That's still here. Don't listen to me. Go and do a Google search and ask Google, was Philo dealing with syncretism, meaning mixing Greek philosophy with the Bible, and come up with your own research. You tell me, how in the hell is he on the same level as the apostles? He's not. Or the apostles' students. He's not. And this is what Reggie didn't know because he was just up there just to talk. Anyway, so I'll continue and then we're going to close it out because we are an hour over. So I'm going to give you the last word.
Nah, that was it on that topic though, but it was very relevant and I'm glad you went into it because, you know, we don't have to be experts in that field, but we should be able to hold our own. You know what I mean? If an Egyptologist or somebody who's anti-Bible, anti the Most High comes up and try to, you know, back us in a corner, so to speak, we should be able to defend ourselves. And this information is good. It's like another bullet in the chamber, so to speak. So yeah, all praise to the Most High for bringing it out. I don't know if you're there, priest. If you are, you're on mute. I don't hear you.
Yeah, Slocky. So I was saying that those that are in the academy, tomorrow's lesson is not this, but next week's lesson is going to be this. So you guys have a preview. I'm going to go over this again. Plus, I'm going to go into what I didn't go into here, go into more of the books. You guys saw I had way more. I just didn't show it here right now. So I'm expecting high scores on the quiz in the academy next week. You guys have seen that today. You're going to see it again in the academy. So it's going to be a review. Some of the slides, I expect to see high scores on the test. With that being said, it's your brother, Priest Daniela, representing Lines of Israel, Maccabees TV. We love you, brothers and sisters. Thank y'all for being here. Somebody in the chat says Sister of the Maccabees said it was too deep. Well, Brother Roy asked, and somebody may have needed that. So that's why I saved it for the end. Those that can receive it can receive it. Those that can understand can understand. If you don't understand this stuff, join the next academy whenever I do it. It's your brother, Priest Daniela, El Zahar, representing Lines of Israel, Maccabees TV. If you guys have not hit the like button, repent, believe the gospel. We love y'all. And if be the Most High's will, we'll see you guys again next week. With that, I say shalom.
Right now, somebody is hating on you, and you and me. This is what we gonna tell them. I'm in a whole different stratosphere. Vision is sharp and my path is clear. On my purpose, plus I'm eloquent. Your opinion of me is irrelevant. I'm in a whole different stratosphere. Vision is sharp and the path is clear. On my purpose, plus I'm eloquent. Your opinion of me is irrelevant. Does it matter what they say about me? Cause I know God don't play about me. Rumors don't matter if they aren't true. The reason they mad is cause they aren't you. They aren't blessed, they aren't highly favored. They're just jealous that somebody made it. Words may hurt, but it didn't kill. And you can't break what you didn't build. Use these words as an affirmation. Don't let them distract you from your aspiration. Let the hatred feed your inner beast, but always keep God as your centerpiece. What that mean? You gotta be in B with it. Always. Don't stand for nothing, then you need to sit and watch the real soldiers take a risk. If you relate to this, then homie, make a fist. I'm in a whole different stratosphere. Vision is sharp and my path is clear. On my purpose, plus I'm eloquent. Your opinion of me is irrelevant. I'm in a whole different stratosphere. Vision is sharp and the path is clear. On my purpose, plus I'm eloquent. Your opinion of me is irrelevant. If the keyboard is crazy and the drum pad is kicking, you can pass me the mic. I'm about to start spitting. Will they love me, feel me, relate to me, lyrically, hate me, despise me, corrupt inside spiritually? It's the times that we're living in. No selling my soul, there's no giving in. I ain't waiting on a Judas purse. Trained till the arms are bulging through the shirts. Get the picture, that's what cameras do. Protect what I own, I got hammers too. Prefer peace and I'm praying on it. Club shame, let Damon weigh in on it. Use these words as an affirmation. Don't let them distract you from your aspiration. Knowledge and wisdom helps you free yourself, and success will find you, so be yourself. I'm in a whole different stratosphere. Vision is sharp and my path is clear. On my purpose, plus I'm eloquent. Your opinion of me is irrelevant. I'm in a whole different stratosphere. Vision is sharp and the path is clear. On my purpose, plus I'm eloquent. Your opinion of me is irrelevant. I need y'all to say that every day.